Chapter 324. The fans secretly extended their little fingers to test the water's ignorant netizens. Huh? Untimely? Let's search to see what's going on. Then we accidentally fell into the trap. The main character is the one who started the love line. If you don't, you're not a surfer. In the living room, Ronghuai was like a little tyrant as he went up to grab 2 cups of milk tea. He was the kind of hooligan who wouldn't drink if he didn't. Xianxia protested softly. That's not right. Sister poured a cup for each of us. Then, Ronghuai smiled sinisterly and flexed his muscles. Are you asking for a beating? Xianxia was speechless. #pretend nothing happened and pretend to be a good boy who didn't like milk tea. The next second, Ronghuai's forehead was knocked. He hissed and raised his head fiercely, like a frivolous and wild wolf puppy. He met Xianxi's calm and gentle gaze. He rubbed his forehead aggrievedly. Why did you hit me? Xianxi said, 1 cup for each of us. You can give the extra cup to Brother Xianxia. Ronghuai seemed to have heard a joke. Him? You want me to call him brother? It had always been others who called him brother. Okay. Xianxi sat cross-legged on the ground, resting her chin on her hands and looking at him quietly. His eyes met hers. 1 second, 2 seconds, and the 3rd second, Ronghuai couldn't take it anymore and looked away, his ears turning red. F***CK. This woman isn't reserved at all. How could she stare at him so intently? Even he was embarrassed by his stare. He reluctantly pushed a cup of milk tea to Xianxia. Xianxia was speechless. Sob, sob, sob. Big sister is so nice and gentle. He took a sip. The hot milk tea warmed his stomach and warmed his heart. It was slightly sweet and had a light tea fragrance. It was a perfect match with red beans and oats. However, it must be very high in calories. He definitely couldn't drink too much. He took a sip. Should I have a little more? By the time Xianxia came to his senses, he had already finished the cup of milk tea. The young man hit his head in frustration. Ronghuai sneered. You've already drunk it. What's there to regret? Didn't you get any joy from my milk tea? Xianxia was in a daze, pondering Ronghuai's words. That's right. Big sister's cooking had this kind of magical power that made people feel warm and happy. Wasn't this the true essence of tasting food? Xianxia felt enlightened. Younger brother, you are really a philosopher, a thinker. His words are too profound and too reasonable. Ronghuai thought, I'm afraid he's a fool. Here, add some more taro balls for me. Ronghuai ordered him casually. Xianxia followed his order obediently. The 2 of them had completely forgotten that they were still streaming. Little did they know that their interaction did not escape the sharp eyes of the netizens. Aw, top traffic arrogant young man. So sweet, so sweet. I'm sorry, although this couple is a cult. I can't help but stand there for a second. Zaichen's aloofness is just a persona, but his true self is the naive and sweet one. Ha ha, he's being bullied by Ronghuai's younger brother. After chatting for a while, Xianxi asked about the purpose of her brother's visit. Ronghuai cleared his throat. Xianxia had added a little too many taro balls for him just now, so his throat was sticky. I plan to take the arts exam and enroll in the film academy. I heard that you started a company. Can I work there? As if he was afraid that Xianxi would reject him, his eyes lit up. Sign me up. I won't let you regret it. Chapter 325. Although the young man spoke a little hurriedly, she could feel his firm conviction in his tone. He really trusted Xianxi. Even though she knew that it was childish, she still couldn't help but be influenced by his passion. Xianxi adjusted her sitting posture and sat upright. She did not look down on Ronghuai because of his young age. Instead, she said, Ronghuai, I'm very happy that you have a new study plan. However, signing a contract with a management company is not a trivial matter. I hope you can seriously consider it for a while. Ronghuai panicked. Hey, do you despise me? Xianxi said gently. No, I'm just standing from an objective point of view. You're still underage and legally. She looked at her brother for help. Xianxia crossed his long legs and said indifferently, a person without civil capacity usually refers to a minor under the age of 8 or a minor who can recognize his own behavior. Ronghuai gritted his teeth and stared at Xianxia with his dark eyes. There was a mix of anger and grievance in his eyes. Sister, I know what I'm doing. He pulled out a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket, which seemed to have been torn from a notebook. He then placed it in front of Xianxia with a sullen face. She unfolded it and saw that the word contract was written on the top. His signature was written on the bottom right corner. The handwriting was crooked, and it was even uglier than a dog's crawl. In the live stream, F***CK saying got into my eyes. This is too easy to cry. Ronghua really trusts Sister EQAQ. This is equivalent to entrusting his future to her. I'm about to cry. I laughed out loud again when I saw Ronghuai's handwriting. Ha ha ha, it's so ugly. Xianxia stared at Ronghuai with her clear doe eyes. Ronghuai was extremely nervous. His hands that were hanging by the sides of his trousers were clenched into fists, and his palms were sweating profusely. He was afraid that Xianxia would criticize him indiscriminately like his parents. He was even more afraid that Xianxia would reject him. However, Xianxia said, Ronghuai, thank you for believing in me. The young man was stunned. I'll accept this contract, but I think we should both have the opportunity to choose, right? You chose me. Similarly, if you get into the film academy, I will sign you. During this period, both of us have the right to go back on our words. What do you think? From the beginning to the end, she was gentle and soft. She didn't tell him what to do with his life, but he was given a choice. Ronghuai's Adam's apple bobbed slightly, as if he had just drunk a sports drink and was about to play a game. Okay, I promise you. We'll choose both sides. He hurriedly added, you can't go back on your word. Otherwise I... Ronghuai thought for a long while, but he still couldn't think of any powerful threats. He laid his eyes on Jiang Chun and strangled him from behind. I'll beat him up. Jiang Chun, who had been innocently implicated, was speechless. Xianxia was amused by him. You're too shameless. The live stream was also filled with ha-ha. Hostage Jiang Chun raised his hand, indicating that he was going to speak. Ronghuai loosened his grip a little. Jiang Chun said, Elder sister, I've signed with Tomato Entertainment for 5 years. Do you want to sign with me for a few more years? Xianxia said, 5 years is nothing. Elder sister, my contract is very long. I've signed for 10 years. The others said, Elder sister, renew my contract. I'm cheaper. I can do it too, elder sister. Pick me, pick me. The netizens were speechless. What? Little brothers, is there anyone who would fight to sign a slave contract like you? Chapter 326. Xianxia felt like laughing. These kids were really, she couldn't turn them down. There's no rush to renew the contract, but I promise to hire professionals to help you plan your career path. The C7 boys nodded repeatedly. Jiang Chun nudged Ronghuai with his shoulder, unable to hide his smugness. We're pretty much guaranteed jobs in Sister's company. Keep it up, brother. If you can't get into the film academy, Sister won't sign you. Ronghuai gritted his teeth. Are you asking for a beating? Xianxia, kids don't fight. Li Jinyu, Huawei, watch your words. Be careful not to get our live stream banned. Ronghuai, how infuriating, but he still had to pretend to be obedient in front of Sister. The netizens in the live stream were filled with emotions. I've seen people fighting to terminate their contracts, but I've never seen people fighting to renew their contracts. They were obviously tricked into signing the contract by the company, but now they're bragging about it. The boys are so cute and pitiful. I'm tearing up. I've always felt bad for the boys signing with this unscrupulous company, but now I see a glimmer of hope. I hope Xianxia doesn't let them down. Someone else got the main point. Ha ha, look at Sui's expression. Isn't it a little subtle? Countless eyes were focused on Sui's face on the screen. The man leaned lazily on the sofa, his gold-rimmed glasses resting on the bridge of his nose. His eyebrows were lowered, and his long eyelashes cast a faint shadow on his fair skin. Xianxia inexplicably felt a chill on the back of her neck. She turned around and met Sui's gaze. She was puzzled. Huh? Sui said faintly. Does Sister E hate me? Xianxia was dumbfounded. No, then why didn't you sign me? Sister E, do you think I'm too expensive? Then I can make it cheaper. Sui's voice was deep, and after deliberately lowering it, it sounded a little hoarse. Or does Sister E think I can't work for you if you sign me? His tone was weak, helpless, and pitiful. Those who heard it were heartbroken, and those who heard it shed tears. The girl was at a loss. That's not what I meant. I thought you were joking. After all, Shui was signed by his uncle's company. Moreover, his uncle was very kind to him and opened a personal studio for him. The basic work was up to his mood. In other words, Shui was now no different from a free man. Why would a normal person be willing to sign with another company and put shackles on themselves? It was illogical. The netizens in the live stream were shocked. F***CK. Was I hallucinating? Shuringdi is actually begging to work. Sichuan Bai, great manager C. Do you know that your artist is lovesick? Domineering female CEO, ex-best actor of the entertainment industry. Sisters, I can do it again. It's fine if the younger brothers are fighting to sign the contract, but Shuringdi, he's basically selling his looks, his skills, and his body. Shui pushed up his glasses and looked at Xianxia with his deep eyes. He sounded a little aggrieved. I'm not joking with you. Xiang Feng said weakly. Shui, I'm your boss. Hey, did you hear me? I'm your boss. Xianxia said in a daze, then sign it. Anyway, one more person wouldn't make much of a difference. Xiang Feng's world collapsed. Little Xianxia, he jumped ship in front of me, and you're trying to poach him in front of me. Do you still have any respect for me? Chapter 327. Shui crossed her arms. Are you a black-hearted boss? Xiang Feng subconsciously denied. Of course not. Then what's the problem with employees moving freely? Shui looked at Xianxia and blinked. Or is it that the law forbids employees from jumping ship? Xianxia, although he hated this doggo man, he still owed him a favor just now. Xianxia said expressionlessly, there's no such rule in the labor law. Shui shrugged and spread her hands. So what's wrong with me jumping ship to Sister Yi's company? Xiang Feng was confused, and his eyes were in a trance. The netizens in the live stream. Ha 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 ha. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep the goodies within the family. We're all family. Doghead, doghead. Family is a wonderful description. Is it Xianxia and Xiang Feng's family? Or is it Shui and Xiangxi's family? Hee. Ah ha ha ha. Why can you send a voice message? I can hear your demonic laughter just by looking at the text. Until the end of the live stream, countless netizens were still discussing it with relish. There were also many posts on the Melon forum, and some netizens had taken a screenshot of Xiangxi's photo and photoshopped it with a peach blossom pattern. Title of the post: Let's all freeload off Xiangxi's luck with the opposite sex. Text of the post: First of all, I was a fan of Sister Yi's looks when I first watched the live stream, but now I'm a genuine fan of hers. After some statistics, Sister E is really attractive, not derogatory. First, it was the cute little brother Yan Nai, then the boys from Mingxi Boys High School. I strongly pick Ronghuai. The high school boys are so cute. Go! There were also Jiang Chen's children from C7, as well as Shuringdi, who was almost 30 years old. In terms of looks, Sister E is a great beauty, but the wonderful thing is that her eyebrows are youthful, round, and not aggressive. Simply put, she has the kind of looks that are popular with elders. Both boys and girls will feel comfortable looking at her. Of course, Sister Yi's personality is also very good. Her gentle womanly charm, both men and women. However, I think the most important point is that Sister E is the reincarnation of a peach blossom spirit. That's why she has such good luck with the opposite sex. I'll post it when I find a boyfriend. Because the post was so silly, it was soon pushed. What the hell? Superstition? Upstairs, what do you know? This is called seeking spiritual sustenance from theology. I'm Peach Blossom Spirit. You're a fake fan. Peach Blossom deity was more like it. The peach blossoms were bright and dazzling. Her, with her husband. In short, this post was inexplicably popular, and at one point, it was pushed to the top 3 most popular areas of the Melon Forum. Before Xianxia went to bed, she received a WeChat message from Anan. Anan Haonan, suck. Anan Haonan, suck stars. Xianxia slowly sent a few question marks over. Anan made a voice call. Sister E, I heard you're a peach blossom immortal. Let me suck. I also want to have good luck with the opposite sex and be single. Xianxia was confused. But I'm single too. And then blurted out, aren't you married to Shurindi? You've already taken wedding photos and gone on your honeymoon. Ahem, sorry, I kowtowed too much. Shui and I. Xianxia looked innocent. There's nothing between the two of us. Before she finished speaking, there was a knock on her bedroom door. A gentle but seductive voice slowly sounded. Sister E, are you asleep? Chapter 328. On the other end of the screen, Anan. He was suddenly excited. He lowered his voice and covered his mouth as he laughed. Oh, it's really nothing for me to come looking for you in the middle of the night, Xianxia. It's not what you think. Okay. No need to say anything, I understand. Anan gestured. Darling, don't worry. I'll support you no matter what you do. Do your best and defile Shurindi. Okay. Slap. The call ended. Xianxia. What should I do if my manager is too silly? She tidied up her nightgown and draped a small blanket over her shoulders before walking towards the door in her slippers. As soon as she opened the door, she was greeted with a beauty attack. Shui took off his sunglasses, revealing his deep brows and pure black pupils as he looked at her with a faint smile. The pajamas seemed to have been bought too big. The collar was loose, revealing a large area of cold white skin and clear collarbones. Xianxia almost imperceptibly swallowed her saliva. The girl hadn't realized that her feelings for Shui were different from her feelings for her brother. It's so late. What's the matter? Xianxia asked. Shui. Let's go pick up Xiao together tomorrow. It must be homesick. Xianxia. Okay, I was planning to go tomorrow anyway. Oh, suddenly, a bony hand covered the top of her head, the movements gentle and delicate. There's a feather on it. As an older brother, helping his sister twist a feather didn't seem like a big deal. Maybe it's from the pillow. Xianxia forced herself to remain calm. After waiting for a few seconds, Shui still didn't look like he was done. She couldn't help but ask, Are you done? Yeah. Shui retracted his hand, his voice low and mellow. But as he moved, the originally loose pajamas slipped down, revealing a thin but not weak shoulder. That your clothes, Xianxia whispered, her voice as soft as a mosquito's. Shui blinked. What did you say? Xianxia looked calm and composed as she draped the small blanket over Shui. It's cold, or more. Shui was stunned for 2 seconds before her expression returned to normal. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm going back to my room. Xianxia turned into the room and closed the door. She leaned against the door and patted her chest. His heart was beating abnormally fast. Outside the door, Shui lowered her long eyelashes and stood in place for a while. Then she chuckled softly. Not far from the French window, Xianxia, who was dressed in black silk pajamas, seemed to be one with the darkness. He gripped the cup tightly, as if he was a cedar covered in icicles on a distant mountain. I think you don't want your leg anymore. He didn't specify which leg he was referring to. Shui slowly walked a few steps in front of him. She wrapped the small blanket tightly around herself, as if she was showing off. The fragrance of her hair still lingered on it. Are you angry again? Brother-in-law, Xianxia! Exclamation point. The man's eyes were cold, and his tone was cold. What did you call me? Shui looked at him innocently. Brother-in-law, can you break my leg the day after tomorrow? After all, I'm going to pick up the child with Sister E tomorrow. Xianxia gritted his teeth. Child? Shui chuckled. Yes. Xianxia was so angry that he started to roll up his sleeves. He thought that he could have a showdown with Shui, but he didn't expect Shui to call Xianxia so openly. Xianxia, what's wrong? Shui complained. Sister E, someone bullied me. Who? Where? Xianxia. He took a deep breath, snatched the phone, and said coldly, Go to sleep. This type of man was really despicable and shameless. Chapter 329. The next day, after Xianxia finished her morning exercise, she made some simple scallion pancakes, steamed buns, and pumpkin millet porridge. She left some breakfast for her uncle and brother. After having breakfast with Shui and the others, she set off. Li Jinyu called the cameraman along and started a live stream while walking. He was planning to do a behind-the-scenes version of Smog and Cat 2. 0-inch. Halfway there, Xianxia suddenly thought of a serious problem. The esports players usually train until very late. They probably haven't woken up yet. Li Jinyu also reacted. It's only 8 o'clock now. Maybe some of them have just fallen asleep. Why don't we turn back? Xianxi's eyes lit up. Why don't we go to the amusement park to play? Sure, Sui. Okay, we'll do as you say. The netizens were appalled. Is this considered a date? How old are you to go to the amusement park? Why are you pretending to be young? I'm speechless. There are so many people at the amusement park. If celebrities go there, won't there be an accident? Can Xianxia grow some brains? Li Jinyu was a little tempted, but considering the safety issue, he could only say regretfully, forget it, we didn't contact the amusement park in advance to clear the area. If you two go in disguise, you'll still be easily recognized. It won't be good if an accident happens. That crazy sightseeing fan from before was a good example. Xianxia, clear the area? I'll take care of it. Li Jinyu was shocked. Sister E, are you omnipotent? In a live stream, there are always netizens who are nitpicking. Can you do whatever you want with money? You can smile. Is she flaunting her wealth? Is she flaunting her wealth? How can anyone like such a woman? Is there something wrong with your brains? Think about those people who have booked tickets in advance and are excited to go to the amusement park, only to be told that they can't enter because the rich people have cleared the area. The gap between the rich and the poor is so big that no one cares. Until the nanny van stopped at an amusement park. The cameraman got out of the car first and took photos of the surrounding scenery. The surrounding greenery was excellent. The sky was blue, the clouds were white, and the flowers were in full bloom. Even the road signs were made into cartoon designs. Some netizens from Nansheng were puzzled. I've been to all the amusement parks in Nansheng, but I've never seen one with such good greenery. Which amusement park is this? Is it new? The next second, the camera was aimed at the entrance of the amusement park. The words Tutu Amusement Park came into view. Netizens. I have a familiar feeling. No, impossible. I don't believe it. Does Xianxia have an amusement park at home? Li Jinyu was also surprised when he saw the name of the amusement park. He asked weakly, Sister E, this isn't also your family's business, right? Xianxia was a little embarrassed. It was built by my grandfather. It's not open for business. This is actually a mini version of the amusement park. It's very small inside, about 1/10 the size of a normal amusement park. There are only merry-go-round rides, but it should be just enough for us to play for a few hours. Li Jinyu, 10% is already a lot. Isn't it better to build a house? He had been a social worker at Muyao TV for several years, but he hadn't even saved up enough money for a down payment on a house. In the live stream, poverty has really limited my imagination. Come out and get beaten up. Your family's little amusement park won't affect others at all. What should I do? I suddenly have an idea. Shui might as well not marry Sister E and marry into her family as a gigolo. Chapter 330. Is there such a good thing? Shui, get out of the way. Let me do it. Sister E, let's discuss this. Don't be so rigid about gender, okay? Look at you people. Do you even have any integrity? All you know is to marry into the family. Mom, I'm your child that you've lost for over 20 years. You making me laugh to death. Sister E is only 20 years old. How could she give birth to a child in your 20s? The silly netizens were having so much fun with the jokes that they drowned out the haters' comments. The procedure to enter the garden was very simple. They had to scan their faces. There were only a few staff members, but their service was very good. Xianxia and Shui went in first. Li Jinyu said in all seriousness, Isn't this something only children play? Old Zhang, let's shoot properly later and try to make it feel like an idol drama. The netizens commented, Director Li, you must be a fan? How can you conspire loudly? The cameraman, Old Zhang, nodded. Yes, that's for sure. I'm already in my 40s. Why would I play this? A few minutes later, Li Jinyu sat on the merry-go-round and laughed like a fool. This thing is quite fun. Oh, let's go higher. Let's go higher. Little brother, can you double the speed? The staff member had a Mona Lisa smile on his face. Sure. Li Jinyu said, Old Zhang, come on. Hurry up and come with me. A merry-go-round that's twice the speed is one a lifetime. If you miss it, you'll have to wait until your next life. Old Zhang was tempted. Then, I'll play 2 rounds with you. Hence, the manual position became a fixed position. The netizens in the live stream were laughing like crazy. Director Li, Old Zhang, so fragrant. You two wake up. We want to watch Sister E and Sure Sui go on a date. Why did the idol drama turn into a country romance? Why am I laughing so hard in front of the screen? Variety shows required a sense of variety. Most people watch the live stream to pass the time and have some fun. Li Jinyu and Old Zhang's casual self-indulgence, which made them even more hilarious. This scene would also become one of the textbook scenes of variety shows in the future. On the other side, the theme of the entire amusement park was rabbits. There were cute big rabbits, small rabbits, white rabbits, and gray rabbits everywhere. Most of the amusement facilities were also related to rabbits. Xianxia was playing a game of Hit the Rabbit. She liked to play this game since she was young. The feeling of smashing rabbits with a carrot hammer was especially stress-relieving. Sure Sui, on the other hand, was interested in the cotton candy being sold at the side. He stared straight at it, and the young lady in charge of selling the cotton candy blushed under his stare. Well, do you want some? I'll give you one. Sure Sui thanked her with a smile and waved at her. However, after Xianxia finished playing with the rabbit, she felt her sleeve being gently tugged. She looked up and saw Sure Sui's wet eyes. She looked pitiful. Xianxia's tone was like coaxing a cub. What do you want? I'll buy them all for you. I have money. Putting everything else aside, if the annual income of Tutu's farm was made public, it would be enough to make people gasp in amazement. Not to mention, Xianxia also had the supplementary cards of the entire Xiang family. Her grandfather had given her a building, her grandmother had given her a floor of a shop, her aunt had given her a small gemstone mine overseas, and so on. Although it would be a little difficult to cash them all out, it was more than enough to raise Sure Sui. Sure Sui pointed at the cotton candy not far away. Sister E, I want some. Xianxia. Okay, I'll buy it. The young lady was stunned on the spot. Didn't she say that she didn't want to eat it? Just now? Chapter 331. Hello, I like a cotton candy. Xiangxi's soft voice pulled her back to reality. As a staff member of Tutu Amusement Park, the young lady was well aware of who the amusement park was built for. Old Mr. and Mrs. Xiang doted on their granddaughter so much that the amusement park was named after Xiangxi's alternate account. The maintenance of the venue and facilities alone required an unlimited amount of manpower and resources. The staff members were all students sponsored by the Xiang family. Not only were their jobs easy, but they could also supplement their family expenses. Miss Xiang, the cotton candy is free of charge. There are 2 colors. Which one would you like? Xianxia tilted her head to look at Sure Sui. He looked down and said with a faint smile, Pink. Okay, please wait a moment. Soon, a huge pink fluffy cotton candy was handed to Xianxia. Xianxia handed it to Sure Sui with a radiant smile. The tall man holding the cotton candy was clearly a strange scene, but the young lady felt a tinge of sweetness. These two are in love, aren't they? Aren't they? At the same time, a low-key and comfortable car stopped at the entrance of the amusement park. Xianxia got out of the car first. He was dressed fashionably in a floral shirt with oil paintings and beige trousers. Although his hair was white, he was hale and hearty. Xianxia opened the car door for his beloved wife out of habit. Madame Xiang was wearing a floral dress with an apricot-colored shawl. The color of her bag was also similar to Xianxia's tie. Old man, help me take a photo later. I want to post it on my WeChat moments and piss off Mrs. Zhou next door. As the group leader of the elderly Plaza Dance group, Mrs. Zhou was also the first to master the usage of WeChat, much to the envy of countless group members. Xianxia said in disdain, "How childish." Madame Xiang humphed and said, "Why? Do you dislike me? Find another grave then. Don't lie next to me in the future." Xianxia said, "I'll take a photo, okay?" He didn't even know how to use WeChat. Why didn't his family teach him? Of course, it was because his son was busy, his daughter was busy, his grandson was busy, and his granddaughter. Humph, he didn't have a granddaughter. This brat had angered her own grandmother so much that she fainted several times. There was no way he would admit that she was his granddaughter. Xiangyi's grandfather, Madame Xiang, was not very good at surfing the internet, so she didn't know about Xiangyi's live stream. Madame Xiang said, "I heard from Feng Feng that little Tutu has become normal. Did you forget what Taoist Qin said? She was possessed by an evil spirit." Nonsense. Although Xiangyin's grandfather was a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner who believed in the theory of yin and yang and the 5 elements to treat illnesses, he firmly refused to believe in ghosts and gods. "Why are you mentioning her? You're affecting my mood. Let me tell you, old woman, I, Xiangyin, will never acknowledge her as my granddaughter." Madame Xiang sighed. When she thought of how Xiangyi had done all kinds of evil deeds in the past year, she felt really suffocated. At first, she brought Xiangyi back to the Xiang family's old mansion to recuperate, but she ended up causing a huge ruckus in the old mansion. The worst time was when she angered Xiangyin so much that he was sent to the hospital and almost sent to the intensive care unit. Over time, no matter how passionate the 2 old men were, they became disheartened. Later on, Xianxia made the decision to send her away, but Xiangyi didn't take the initiative to contact them. Gradually, there was no news from her. To their surprise, when they entered the garden, the staff said respectfully, "Old master, Miss Xiang has brought her friends here to play." Xiangyin frowned and asked, "How many people? Are they men or women?" The staff answered, 3 men." Xiangyin's beard flared up and he hollered, "This brat." Chapter 332. She's getting more and more outrageous. Previously, when she was in the Xiang family mansion, she was so obsessed with her online dating partner. Of course, Xiangyi's grandfather, Madame Xiang, didn't know that Xiangyi had more than one online dating partner at that time. Madame Xiang liked to be lively and lively. From time to time, there would be gatherings at home, and the guests were all her old friends. Occasionally, she would bring her nephews and grandchildren to hang out with each other. This wretched girl actually fell in love with a man who is more than 10 years older than me. He's a generation older than me too. If it's really a match made in heaven, it's fine. The Xiang family doesn't value seniority that much anyway. However, he's a notorious playboy. Xiangyi insisted on marrying him and threw a tantrum for a long time before she stopped. Madame Xiang persuaded, "Why don't we go back?" Firstly, she was afraid that Xiangyi would get so angry that he would fall ill when he saw Xiangyi. Secondly, she was afraid that her little Tutu would be reprimanded and beaten up. No matter how disobedient Xiangyi was, she would still feel sorry for her. Although Xiangyi's grandfather sounded stubborn, she was well aware that Xiangyi doted on Xiangyi the most among all the men in the family. The boys doted on her, but Xiangyi doted on her. Other families would carry their children until they were 2 or 3 years old at most, but Xiangyi didn't even walk much when she went shopping when she was 4 or 5 years old. Xiangyi was the one who carried her around. "I'm not going back. She should be the one avoiding me. How can I, an elder, avoid her?" Xiangyi's grandfather was fierce, and he waved his gentleman's cane in the air twice. "I'll go see what she's up to again. If she dares to mess around, I'll break her legs." Xiangyi took the lead and walked in. Madame Xiang hurriedly followed him. There weren't many amusement parks in Tutu, and the rides were all low risk. They had a wide view and could see everything at a glance. As soon as Xiangyi's grandfather, Madame Xiang, entered, she saw Li Jinyu and old Zhang, who were still on the merry-go-round, were having a great time. At this moment, it was already at 4 times the speed, and the merry-go-round had turned into a flying merry-go-round. Although Xiangyin was old, he still had a sharp sense of hearing and sight. However, it took him some effort to see the faces of the 2 people clearly. Xiangyin hollered, "This wretched lass has such poor taste." Not all like him. Madame Xiang took out her reading glasses and gracefully put them on. After looking at them for a while, she sighed in melancholy. How could this be? Each one was uglier than the other, and each one was older than the other. Little Tutu's taste in men was it was too horrible to look at. All of a sudden, Xiangyi noticed that there was some movement coming from the car that Tutu had crashed into. He squinted his sharp eyes and vaguely saw Sui's back. He couldn't help but mutter, "This seems okay, Madame Xiang." "Old man, what did you say?" Xiang Yin cleared his throat and pretended to be fierce. "I'll go see what kind of wretched man she's found." Madame Xiang was even more worried. "Is this guy even older?" The two walked past the tripod where the camera was fixed. Li Jinyu and old Zhang were immersed in the childish joy of men and didn't notice the two of them at all. However, the netizens watching the live stream had sharp eyes. "Wow, that pair of grandparents is so trendy. Ooh, Grandpa's tie and Grandma's bag are the same color. Wait, didn't Sister E say that this amusement park is not open to the public? Could it be that they are her elders? Huh? Doesn't that mean our Shui is going to meet her parents?" Chapter 333. On the other side, Xianxia was happily playing with Shui. There were two long bunny ears on the front of the bumper car, which would droop down like a lop-eared rabbit when they collided with each other. Xianxia rarely went to the amusement park after junior high school. The reason was simple. No matter how fun the amusement park was, it would be boring to play alone. After her parents got into an accident, she couldn't get over it for a long time and studied at home in elementary school. After junior high school, she kept skipping grades and was busy with her studies. Hence, she didn't have much time to socialize. The few friends whom she was close to had completely cut off contact with them because of that person in the past year. She felt that Shui was really kind and mature. Yet, she was willing to play such a childish game with her. She skillfully turned the steering wheel and locked on a Shui's position before accelerating towards Tutu's car. Halfway through, an old man appeared out of nowhere. Xianxia hurriedly stepped on the brakes, but due to inertia, she hit her head against the steering wheel. When she looked up, there was a red patch on her fair forehead. It was painful to look at. Xianxia couldn't help but frown. Xiangxia's eyes lit up when she saw him. "Grandpa," Xianxia immediately said. "Don't call me Grandpa. I'm not your grandpa. I don't have a granddaughter like you." His tone was cold and harsh, causing the light in Xiangxia's eyes to dim. She lowered her eyelashes and adjusted her emotions for a few seconds before pressing the button to reverse the car. Tutu's car reversed a great distance, and the bunny ears on the front of the car had malfunctioned. They drooped down dejectedly and looked listless. Xianxia was speechless. "What? I told you not to call me Grandpa, and you're really not going to do it? You're finally obedient." Xianxia didn't expect that he would get angry when Xianxia was disobedient. Now that she was obedient, he got even angrier. Madame Xiang was a few steps slower. When she walked over, she discovered that Xianxia had reversed the car and left without saying a word. Seeing that Xiangxin's forehead and eyes were red, old Mrs. Xiang's heart melted, and she waved at her. "Your grandpa is scaring you. Ignore him. Be good, Tutu, come to Grandma." Xianxia hesitated, wondering if she should go over. Xianxia exclaimed, "Don't come over. I don't want to see you." Therefore, Little Rabbit backed the car further away. "Mr. Xiang, Madame Xiang." Shui had alighted from the car at some point and greeted the two elders in a warm voice. Then, he began chatting with them naturally, and his manners were impeccable. After exchanging a few pleasantries, the topic turned back to Xianxia. Xiangxi's grandfather said sarcastically, "She has the time to come to the amusement park with you, but doesn't have the time to visit me at the old residence. I think she doesn't take me seriously at all." Shui said apologetically, "Grandpa, you've misunderstood. It's not that Sister he doesn't want to go. It's because of work. We're here today to shoot some material." He glanced in the direction of the merry-go-round, his temples twitching. "That's our show's director and cameraman. They're doing a live broadcast." Just as he was about to explain what a live broadcast meant, he heard Madame Xiang say, "Live broadcast? I've heard of it before. Live broadcasts sell goods. It's like shopping on TV. I've seen Mrs. Zhou's grandson next door teach her how to shop." She was really envious because neither she nor Xianxia knew how to shop. Shui smiled and asked, "Grandma, what do you want to buy? Do you want Sister E to come over and buy it for you?" Before Madame Xiang could answer, Xianxia interjected, "No. Need?" Chapter 334. Madame Xiang retorted, "Do you know how to do it?" Xianxia said guiltily, I can learn. You've already learned it several times, Madame Xiang said, exposing him mercilessly. Xiang thought, "You're hurting my feelings, old woman." He retorted stubbornly, "Anyway, I don't want that wretched girl to teach me. I'm telling you, if she ignores me, I won't say a word to her either." Xiang was full of energy and roaring loudly. Xiang vaguely heard what he said and wanted to hide in a corner, but the car didn't move at all. She looked up and realized that Shui had pressed the switch with her fair and slender fingers. "Where are you going to hide?" Shui asked smilingly while looking down at her. Xiang looked away and said, I'm not hiding." She just felt a little aggrieved. It was clearly not her fault, but she had to be scolded by her grandfather who used to dote on her the most. Shui stared at her for a few seconds before leaning forward and squatting beside her. She said in a low and gentle voice, "Sister E, running away is useful, but it's not the best way to solve problems. If you don't want to face it, I'll leave with you. If you're willing to face it, I'll stay with you too. Grandpa and Grandma aren't that scary, are they?" His persuasive tone made Xiang's heart waver. "Sister E, if you're scared, you don't have to hide so far away." Shui smirked and continued, "Just hide behind me." She didn't know why, but inexplicably, Xiang was a little touched. She felt that Shui was so mature while she was so childish. She didn't deserve to be a fan anymore. "My grandpa is very painful when he beats people up." As a hot-tempered traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, Xiangyin's grandpa would often say, "I'll blow a suona at your grave," to his patients who refused to listen to his advice. He was also very ruthless when he beat people up, and Xiangyin's uncle would often be beaten to tears. "It's okay, I can take a beating." A few seconds later, Xiangyi pursed her lips and said, "Okay, then, I'll go see Grandpa." Xiangyin rubbed her head gently. "Sister E, you're so obedient." After Li Jinyu and old Zhang let go of themselves and reaped the joy, they finally remembered their original job. They hurriedly carried the camera and other livestream equipment to Xiangyi. Coincidentally, he saw that Xiangyi was driving Tutu's car and had Shui sit in the front passenger seat. Xiangyi even reminded him to fasten his seatbelt. Although Tutu's car was a two-seater, Shui was tall and had long legs. After sitting in the car, the originally small space became even more cramped. Their arms seemed to be touching each other. The netizens in a live stream, "Haha, fastening the seatbelt is so cute. There are thousands of paths, but safety comes first. This car is so cute. He wanted it. I want it." The two of them drove to Xiangyi's grandfather, Madame Xiang. Shui got out of the car while Xiangyi was still hesitating. The man chuckled and opened the car door for her. He drew a half circle in the air with his hand, as if inviting a proud and elegant princess to dance. "Princess Tutu, please get out of the car." Xiangyi was speechless. She was a little embarrassed, but she was also a little happy to have a way out. She got out of the car and tugged at the hem of her clothes uncomfortably. She said softly, "Hello, Grandpa and Grandma." Xiangyin was speechless. "She's calling me Grandpa again. She's so obedient. But does she think I'll forgive her just like that? How naive. I'm the most difficult old man to coax in this world. My wife is the most difficult old woman to coax in this world. Don't even think about coaxing us." To his surprise, Xiangyi asked gently, "Grandma, shall I teach you how to buy things in a live stream?" Madame Xiang exclaimed, Sure, sure. Ah, Tutu is so sensible." Xiang was speechless. Chapter 335. Old Mr. Xiang was confused, and he hinted at Madame Xiang with his eyes. "Didn't we agree to stand on the same side?" Madame Xiang rolled her eyes at him. "We didn't agree. Little Tutu is so obedient and soft, which means that Taoist Master Qin was right. The evil has already left. How can I not pamper and protect my granddaughter?" Xiangyi slowed down her speech and taught her in detail. "Grandma, take out your cell phone first, then click on this orange app and click on the search box at the top." Madame Xiang didn't manage to learn it after listening to it once. Xiangyi impatiently taught her the second time. Finally, Madame Xiang learned how to search for the live stream and clicked on the live stream that was ranked number 1 in real time. "Dear viewers, this rag absorbs water and it's excellent. There are also several colors to choose from. It's priced at 59.99 yuan in the supermarket and 19.99 yuan in our live stream for a super low discount. The first 10,000 people to bid for the treasure will be given an additional 100 milliliters of natural, pollution-free fruit and vegetable detergent. The livestream host shouted enthusiastically, and at the critical moment, she suddenly exclaimed, "Our livestream is limited to 50,000 copies. Dear viewers, 54321, upload the link." Madame Xiang said anxiously, "Little Tutu, hurry up and buy it, otherwise you won't be able to buy it." Xiang was speechless. "It's not like we don't have rag in our house. Besides, when have you ever done any housework?" Madame Xiang barked, "Shut up." Xiang said, "Okay." Seeing the scene in the live stream of Two Under One Roof, the netizens almost burst into laughter. I'm watching a live stream? Grandma looks just like the first time I saw a live stream selling goods. Ha ha ha. I can't take it anymore. Grandma is so cute when she's angry at Grandpa. Grandpa looks fierce, but I didn't expect him to be a henpecked husband. Looking at the interaction between her grandparents, Xianxia couldn't help but burst into laughter. She followed the live stream's instructions and grabbed the coupons before buying them. The screen showed that the order had been successfully placed. Madame Xiang was overjoyed. Great, great. We've got it. Xianxia said, "Grandma, it's actually more than 50,000 was just a marketing tactic." Before he could finish his sentence, Shui patted him on the shoulder. The young girl exchanged glances with him, understanding tacitly. As long as Grandma is happy, there's no need to expose her. Then, the host started to show the second product. This is a pair of men's sports shorts. It absorbs sweat and is easy to wear. Original price, blah blah blah. Madame Xiang said in disdain, "Little Tutu, isn't there a skip button?" Xianxia shook her head. However, Xiang was a little anxious. He hollered at the screen, "Why are you speaking so quickly? Kid, speak slowly." He didn't even hear it clearly. The netizens in the live stream, the reality of the world. Ha! Does anyone want to go to the streamer's live stream and spam speak slowly? My sister is the same. She's so obsessed with shopping for herself. When I asked her to buy me socks, she said, "You're not worthy, cac." The live stream soon finished describing the product, and Xiang was obviously a little tempted. He egged Madame Xiang on. "Old woman, buy it for me." Madame Xiang said leisurely, "It's not like you don't have any pants to wear. It'd be a waste to buy so many." Xiang was speechless. Madame Xiang did it on purpose. After getting along with Xiang for decades, she had a firm grasp of his character. Sure enough, after being rejected by her, Xiang crossed his arms angrily. He didn't want to buy it at first, but when he heard the live stream say that there were only 5,000 pairs left, he couldn't help but poke Xiang's arm. It was the kind of touch that caused him to leave immediately. He said arrogantly, "Hey, buy it for me." Chapter 336. Huh? Xiang froze in shock. Is Grandpa talking to me? Seeing that she was ignoring him, Xiang said reluctantly, "I'll give you money. I won't take advantage of you." A faint smile appeared in Shui's eyes. Madame Xiang turned around and covered her mouth as she snickered. Who was the one who said he was going to ignore little Tutu? How many minutes has it been? Xiang snapped back to reality and said, "Grandpa, I'll buy it for you now. What color do you want?" Xiang humphed and said, "Black one, it'll go well." He had learned the word "go well" from Madame Xiang. Women are so troublesome. They've been wearing couple outfits for decades, and yet they don't get tired of it. He had no choice but to wear it with her. Xiang smiled and said, "Okay." There were some haters in the live stream. She bought it just like that? She didn't even ask for his size. She's so careless. I'm dying of laughter. What kind of rich and beautiful girl is she? She's trying to please Grandpa with a pair of pants that cost more than 100 yuan. Serves Grandpa right for not liking her. After all, boys are meant to carry on the family name, while girls are meant to be outsiders sooner or later. In the next second, Xiang said, "Grandpa, I remember that you wear XL. Can I buy XXL pants for this pair of pants? It'll be more comfortable if the sweatpants are looser." Xiang muttered softly, "At least you still have some conscience." Madame Xiang said smilingly, "Little Tutu, let me test you. What size shoes do your grandpa and I wear?" Xianxia blurted out without hesitation, "Grandma wears 36 and Grandpa wears 43. Our little Tutu has such a good memory." Madame Xiang couldn't help but praise her. "You've been meticulous ever since you were young. You're much more considerate than your brothers. Your grandpa and grandma's little jacket, while the rest of them are at most military coats. As for your uncle, TSK, he can't even be considered a pair of underpants." Puffed. Sure enough, Xiangyi's uncle was being despised every day. In the live stream, this time, no one indulged the haters, and they immediately started retorting. "Xiangyin, do you know that the Qing dynasty? Do you still value boys over girls? You call this not attentive? Anyway, I don't even know how big my grandparents wear. Those who are against Sister E, ask yourselves, do you have the patience to accompany the elderly? Do you have the patience to teach them how to use the internet over and over again?" Xianxia accompanied the two elders to watch the live stream and bought a lot of things. However, this streamer did not expect that in just 10 minutes, 1 or 2 million people would flood into his live broadcast room. There wasn't a lot of traffic in the morning, but to be able to reach this number meant he was on fire. However, the streamer was confused. He did not understand how he became so popular. Moreover, there was a group of people in the live broadcast room who were spamming something like "speak slowly." What kind of joke was this? Is this a new type of internet slang? The clip of Xianxia teaching her grandparents how to watch the live broadcast was also edited and posted on a video website. Unexpectedly, it became popular. In just a few hours, the number of likes had exceeded 200,000 and the number of shares had reached tens of thousands. "Ah, this video is so nice. You speak better than me." He posted it in the family group chat. "My mom and aunts have learned to watch live streams and shop online. My grandparents said that this girl is beautiful and kind-hearted. Judging from the way she looks at me, I suspect that Sister E is their biological granddaughter." It was also from this day onwards that Xianxia began to gain a large number of middle-aged and elderly mother fans, mill powder fans, and mill powder fans. Her popularity soared. Where her grandparents were satisfied with the shopping, Xianxia finally turned off the live stream on her cell phone. Madame Xiang said softly, "Old rabbit, look, little Tutu has returned to her original self." Xiangyin said awkwardly, "I haven't forgiven her yet. Does she think she can coax me with such a simple method? She only managed to coax 1% of me." Oof. Chapter 337. Xiangyin stole a glance at Xianxia, only to discover Shui handed him a bottle of water and even took the initiative to unscrew the cap. Xiangyin squinted and fixed his gaze on her. She was quite pleasing to the eye just now, but now she's so annoying. However, Madame Xiang mistakenly thought that the two of them were in a relationship. Perhaps because of Li Jinyu and Old Zhang, she was more and more satisfied with Shui. In a manner, Xianxia slept until 9 o'clock in the morning, which was a rare indulgence for him. According to his habit, he read the financial headlines while drinking black coffee and then glanced at the stock charts. Immediately afterwards, Xianxia began to process his emails. Although he was on vacation, there were still some things that he had to take care of. Halfway through replying to the English email, his cell phone vibrated. He picked it up to take a look, only to see that it was a message from Guardian of the best Xianxia in the world. "Guardian, sorry to disturb you. I've sorted out the details of the case and sent them to you. Can I send the document to you directly on WeChat?" Xianxia expressed assent. Soon, Guardian sent the document over. Xianxia opened it and skimmed through it before carefully combing through it. The gist of it was that Guardian's good friend had graduated from college this year, and she majored in chemistry. When she applied for a job, she came in first in the written test and interview. However, in the end, she was not hired and a man who ranked lower than her was hired instead. She called the HR department to inquire about it, but the reply she received was that the position was more suitable for men. Guardian's good friend was furious, but she had just graduated and didn't have the money to file a lawsuit. Guardian wanted to seek help from a public interest lawyer on Weibo, so she tried to post it. She didn't expect to receive a reply from Xianxia. She was already very grateful. After learning that Xianxia was Sister Yi's elder brother, she felt even more embarrassed because she felt that she had caused trouble for Xianxia and indirectly for Sister Yi. Guardian, is this lawsuit easy to fight? If it's a waste of time, forget it. My friend is looking for a new job. Guardian, pitiful. JPG. In the beginning, she and her good friend were indeed furious, but as time passed, they had no choice but to accept it. After all, there was too much inequality in this society. They were just two ordinary freshmen. How could they fight against those cruel rules? Chen, I'll arrange for someone to follow up. Chen, do you have any more expression packs? The Guardian on the other end of the screen was stunned for a moment. Only then did he realize that the emoticon she had just sent was made from Sister Yi's GIF. Guardian, yes. She hurriedly sent over the dozens of Sister Yi emojis she had made. On the other end of the screen, Xianxia was expressionless and serious. He saved the emojis one by one. Chun, for the sake of the emoji pack, I will personally take charge of this case. The trial is expected to start in 3 days. You and your friend should prepare for it. Guardian, did she see wrongly? The top lawyer in the country, a big shot who only took on cases in the millions, was actually going to personally take on such a small case. Guardian was instantly terrified. This is not necessary. Moreover, Xianxia was not a public interest lawyer. His legal fees were very, very expensive. Even if Xianxia didn't want it, she and her friend should give him some. She reckoned that she and her friend would have to eat dirt for the next few months. Buzz. She lowered her head and looked at her phone. Chun, in the future, if you have any tutu emojis, send them to me as soon as possible. Thank you. After turning off the screen, Xianxia returned to his cold, noble, and elegant appearance. Chapter 338. At the amusement park, when Li Jinyu heard that Madame Xiang wanted to take a photo, he volunteered to do it for her. Xiang Yin looked extremely displeased. What? Are you trying to snatch my job? Shi Sui said, why don't we all take a photo? Grandma, you can use the photo of whoever you like. Madame Xiang nodded gracefully and said, thank you for the trouble then. Hence, the netizens in the live stream witnessed Madame Xiang striking a pose that was commonly used throughout the country, a shawl. Director Li is so hardworking. He's even lying on the ground to take a photo. Ha, damn. I suspect that Madame Xiang is spying on our family life. It's so realistic. My mother and aunt always take this pose when they go to scenic spots. After changing a few poses, Madame Xiang came over to take a look at the photos. Li Jinyu was also very good at it. After getting Madame Xiang's permission, he got old Zhang to do a close-up of everyone's cell phones. First, it was Xiang Yi's. Her photos were quite decent, which was not bad. Next was Li Jinyu's photo, which was impressive as he took a beautiful photo. Next was Shi Sui's photo, which was surprisingly good at taking photos and made Madame Xiang look warm and affectionate. Finally, it was Xiang Yin's turn. The netizens in the live stream mocked mercilessly. Grandpa, you're a straight man. You've made Grandma look like a dot in the photo. Thank you, I'm offended. Even my boyfriend looks so ugly when he takes photos of me. I even saw several photos with their eyes closed. They were really perfect when Grandma blinked. Madame Xiang adjusted her shawl and said with a smile, I hereby announce that the best photo goes to little Tutu. Before she could finish, someone criticized her. Even if you're biased, you shouldn't be like this, right? Anyone can tell that Director Li and Shi Sui have done a good job. I'm speechless. The next second, Madame Xiang said leisurely, Little Tutu, Shi Sui, and Little Li are tied for first place. She winked at the three of them and said, there will be rewards for all of you later. The netizens in front of the screen were stunned for a moment before they realized how brilliant Madame Xiang's EQ was. Grandma is so gentle. I don't care. I want to cheer for Grandma. Xiang Yin panicked. What about me? Second? Madame Xiang said in disdain. You wish. You're last. It could be said that the double standards were incisively and vividly displayed. Feeling aggrieved and infuriated, Xiang Yin turned around and ignored Madame Xiang. He asked Xiang Yi fiercely, are my photos really that bad? Xiang Yi, what kind of question was this? Just as she was struggling with how to answer, Shi Sui naturally continued. Grandpa, Grandma must like the photos you took the most because you're the person she likes the most. Xiangyin's face stiffened. 1 second, 2 seconds, in the third second, the corners of his mouth curled up with joy. This little imp is quite eloquent. However, in the blink of an eye, he recalled the scene of Shi Sui handing Xianxia a glass of water just now, and his expression immediately changed. Glib tongue. What if he bullies little Tutu in the future? I can't have such a man. The netizens watching the live stream all expressed that Xiangyin's facial expression was textbook level. Of course, Madame Xiang could guess Xiangyin's thoughts. She found an excuse to ask him to go to the side to take photos of the flowers and plants. She then affectionately held Shi Sui's hand. Grandson-in-law, you must take good care of Tutu. Xiangyi was confused. Grandma, did you misunderstand something? She was about to explain, but Shi Sui smiled and said, Grandma, don't stand on ceremony with me. It's my duty to take care of Tutu. Xiangyi was dumbfounded. Chapter 339. Her cherry lips quivered and she muttered, No, he's not. Xiangyi suddenly felt an arm around her shoulder and was momentarily at a loss for words. She looked at Shi Sui in astonishment. Shi Sui's expression remained the same as he leaned over and whispered a few words into her ear. Xiangyi was speechless. Shi Sui said that since Grandma was so happy, he didn't want to disappoint her and said that he could reluctantly pretend to be her boyfriend. It sounded like he was being considerate of her and Grandma, but Xiangyi felt that something was amiss. The fans who were watching the live stream were flabbergasted. This is the ugly husband meeting the parents, right? Ugly? Mind your words. How is our Shi Sui ugly? Official announcement? Shi Sui didn't deny that Grandma called him her grandson-in-law, which means he's acquiescing. Madame Xiang couldn't help but cover her mouth and snicker when she saw how harmonious and intimate the two of them were. Seems like my dear Tutu and her grandson-in-law have a good relationship. Madame Xiang thought that it was good for girls to be in a relationship a few times as they would become more mature when it came to relationships. Xiangyin, who was standing nearby, saw it. His eyes were about to pop out of their sockets, and he hollered, Rascal! Get your hands off me! Get them off me! Xiangyi shuddered in shock. Shi Sui's hand on her shoulder was still very stable. Xiangyin stopped taking pictures of the flowers and plants and instead rushed over aggressively, hitting Shi Sui with his walking stick. Shi Sui didn't dodge and instead took the hit. Xiangyin was so strong that Xiangyi could hear the muffled sound of the walking stick hitting her flesh. Grandpa, old man. Xiangyin ignored the two of them and barked at Shi Sui. You're not allowed to touch our Tutu. Our Tutu is such an adorable girl. You're not worthy of her at all. Don't try to get up to any tricks. As long as I'm around, don't even think about abducting Tutu. He took a deep breath and added fiercely, No man can do it. When the netizens in the live stream saw this scene, some were worried, while others were gloating. Wow, Grandpa is so fierce. It must have hurt a lot. Glass shards again. Grandpa, don't torture them, QAQ. Why is this old man so cocky? How dare you look down on our Shi Sui? Please, your granddaughter is the one who doesn't deserve it. That's great, that's great. Please break them up. I've long disliked the vase fairy. Why does she get all the good things? She should just die alone as an old nun. Even Li Jinyu thought that Shi Sui was going to fail this time. As a director, especially a variety show director, he was very good at reading people's eyes. Artists who used a love script to act, and those who truly liked someone were completely different. He had long seen through Shi Sui's feelings for sistery. Shi Sui has been too careless this time. She had improved Madame Xiang's impression of her, but caused Xiangyi's grandfather to detest her greatly. That was simply not worth the loss. Unexpectedly, before Xiangyi's grandfather swung his cane again, Xiangyi pulled Shi Sui back with one hand and grabbed Xiangyi's cane with the other. Grandpa, you've misunderstood. I'm not going to his house. Xiangyi's grandfather hollered. Do you still want him to marry into our family? Madame Xiang coughed lightly and said, It's not impossible. Xiangyi's grandfather flew into a rage. I don't agree to this marriage. He straightened his back and waited for Xianxia to promise him that she would draw a clear line between her and Xianxia. In the next second, Xianxia swallowed her saliva and ran away with sure sway. The netizens were dumbfounded. Xiangyi's grandfather was speechless. What? You want to elope? Chapter 340. Xianxia and Sure Sui were running so fast that Li Jianyu and old Zhang chased after them for a long time, but still couldn't catch up. Instead, they were exhausted. "Oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I'm exhausted," Li Jianyu said, panting heavily. Old Zhang was carrying equipment that weighed dozens of kilograms and was so tired that he couldn't speak. Li Jianyu leaned in front of the camera and said, "Hee, maybe you guys want to see the two of us continue the merry-go-round?" The netizens were appalled. "Ah, go away. You're so ugly." Sure Sui's sister E, "You're so beautiful." Director Li, "You're so ugly." Sui, perform a 360-degree Thomas spin for Daddy, and I'll forgive you. Li Jianyu was quite good at controlling the situation. Amidst the laughter, he temporarily turned off the live stream. He muttered to himself, "Daddy Sure is indeed Daddy Sure. He's able to turn the tables and show off. So what if I offend Xianxia? So what if I get beaten up? I got Sister E." On the other hand, after making sure that they were far enough away, Xianxia breathed a sigh of relief and said, "You scare me to death. Grandpa is so fierce." She felt that if they didn't leave now, Grandpa would break Sure Sui's legs. Sure Sui ran with her for such a long distance, but his breathing was not irregular at all. In fact, he was even in the mood to tease her. "Sister E-hand." Xianxia hurriedly let go of his hand as if she had been electrocuted. "Don't get me wrong. I'm just afraid that you'll get beaten up by Grandpa. Yes, I know." Meeting the man's smiling eyes, Xianxia suddenly had a feeling of discomfort. "Ahem, I'll call Grandma, and then we'll go pick up Xiao Naofu." "Okay." Xianxia went to the side to make a call. Sure Sui could vaguely hear her acting coquettishly. When she was acting coquettishly, her voice was gentle and soft, but it was sweet. However, when she returned to his side, she regained her composure and said, "Grandma said that she would help me coax Grandpa. But then again, why do the two of them think that we're in love?" The girl was confused. The actor who had caused the misunderstanding to deepen didn't change his expression. "Maybe it's because my brother is too likable." Xianxia? Question mark. "Don't you know that you have to make an appointment to go on a blind date with your brother during the New Year?" Xianxia? She was shocked. Sure Sui. "Oh no, I'm no longer a fan. I'm not fit to be a fan." Is Sure Sui that popular in the matchmaking market? No wonder Grandma liked him so much. She was curious. What does it feel like to go on a blind date? Is there really such a weirdo as described on the internet? Anen had previously shared a love gossip post with her, scolding those top-notch blind dates. Sure Sui, do you want to know? He chuckled softly. "Next New Year, how about I give you a walk-in experience?" Xianxia thought he was joking and said, "It's not right to cut in line. Why don't I line up?" Sure Sui stopped in her tracks. Then, as if nothing had happened, she caught up with her. "Okay, I'll call you when it's your turn." At the Logic Esports base, Xianxia and the rest arrived at 11 o'clock. Apart from Xiao Naofu, who was still alive and kicking, no one else had woken up at this moment. In the living room, Xianxia stared at the huge cat tree, the luxurious cat villa, and the rich cat playground and fell into deep thought. Did I treat Xiao Naofu too badly? Brother and the rest are too nice to Xiao Naofu. She somehow felt like a poor child who had gone to a rich relative's house to be pampered. Hearing the footsteps, Xiao Naofu turned around and wagged its tail excitedly before scurrying toward Xianxia. "Oh, stupid woman. I want a hug. I want a kiss." All of a sudden, a pair of large hands grabbed the back of Xiao Naofu's neck and raised it in front of him, smiling lazily. "Xiao Naofu, long time no see. Do you want to kiss with your brother?" "Get lost, damn it." Chapter 341. Sure Sui's peach blossom eyes curved slightly as a playful smile flashed across his face. He leaned down and pretended to kiss Xiao Naofu. His pale thin lips were getting closer and closer to Xiao Naofu. Meow, meow, meow. Xiao Naofu stretched out its chubby paws and desperately blocked Sure Sui's lips, not allowing him to get any closer. Sui's eyes flashed with a sinister light as he slowly retreated. Xiao Naofu breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, this Hu has protected his innocence. Suddenly, Sui made a sound of surprise. Sister Yi, do you think Xiao Naofu is bald? Xiangyi leaned over to take a closer look and said worriedly, It seems to be a little. The fur on the top of Xiao Naofu's head was obviously thinner than the rest of his body. Just how long has fourth brother been stroking me in these few days? Xiao Naofu's eyes widened as it raised its paws and rubbed its head. Did this Hu's fur really become thinner? Then wouldn't it become a bald tiger? Unexpectedly, what greeted it was a sudden kiss for Sui. With a soft pop sound, the man's lips were imprinted on Xiao Naofu's cheek. Xiao Naofu. Rumble. The whole world began to collapse. It was as if it had been struck by lightning as it stared blankly at Sui. TSK, why are you shedding fur? Sui's lips curled into a devilish smile. It doesn't taste good at all when I kiss you. Xiao Naofu. Dogman. F*CK. You mother of Cur. I'm going to bite you to death. It opened its mouth wide and revealed its sharp teeth, looking like it was going to fight Sui to the death. But in the next second, it fell into a warm and fragrant embrace. Xiao Naofu, don't bite. Xiangyi spoke in a tone like she was educating a child. Xiao Naofu pointed its paws at Sui. Awoo, awoo, he kissed me. Dogman, he kissed me. Xiangyi understood what it meant. She coaxed it softly. Brother Sui kissed you because he likes you. Sui added fuel to the fire. Yes, I never kiss other people's kittens. Xiao Naofu was so angry that he lost his mind. Woof, woof, woof. He gradually turned into a dog. Li Jinyu and Old Zhang, who were watching from the side, were about to go crazy with laughter. Xiangyi, Tong Tong, do you still remember that you're a little tiger? Which little tiger in the world would bark like a dog? Okay, don't be angry anymore. Our Xiao Naofu is the most obedient. Xiangyi paced back and forth with it in her arms, patiently coaxing it for a few minutes. Xiao Naofu sniffled and snuggled into Xiangyi's arms, rubbing its head against her cloud-like softness. Not far away, Sui's dark eyes suddenly narrowed. After Xiao Naofu whined for a long time, fourth brother Xiangyu woke up. He washed up as fast as he could and didn't even have time to comb his hair. The first thing he did was to go downstairs to feed Xiao Naofu cat food. Seeing Xiangyu's figure, Li Jinyu motioned for Old Zhang to start the live stream. The first scene of the live stream was the esports god's sleepy appearance with his hair standing on end. Sister, his voice was slightly hoarse as he had just woken up. Brother, I'm here to take Xiao Naofu home. Xiangyu was silent. He took Xiao Naofu from her arms and skillfully rubbed its head. He said coldly, changing environments often is not good for cats' mental health. The netizens in the live stream. I love Smog's look when he just woke up. Ha Smog is rubbing the cat like he's making meatballs. Sameo, without Xiao Naofu, it's not good for my mental health. Chapter 342. You keep pretending. I still have the video of you snorting cats last time. Xiangyi, let's eat first. We'll ask Xiao Naofu for his opinion later. Xiangyu nodded coldly. What do you want to eat? I'll order takeout. I prepared the ingredients. Xiangyi's eyes curved slightly, as if there was a gentle moonlight hidden in her eyes. Brother, let me cook for you guys. Xiangyu said in all seriousness. You do yours, I'll order mine. His sister's food belonged to him. Takeout belonged to Wander and the other animals. The esports base had hired an auntie to cook, but the players were still used to ordering takeout. The auntie helped Xiangyi, and soon, the aroma of food began to waft out of the kitchen. The smell was so fragrant that the players who couldn't be woken up by the alarm clock all woke up one by one. Annie, what did you make today? It smells so good. Amazing. It's braised pork, right? I'll have 2 bowls of rice later. I think I can smell the pork rib soup. Sob, I'm so hungry. Do you have any snacks to fill my stomach? Xiangyu waited until they were almost done with their discussion before he casually said, My sister is here. Huh. Everyone was shocked. They had signed a contract with the live stream software to stream for a certain amount of time every month. Occasionally, they would watch the live streams of other streamers, but there was one live stream program that everyone had to watch in addition to the replay videos of the competition. That was Xianxia's edited version of her cooking. It was a godly meal. Watching her cook was simply a form of enjoyment. They didn't expect that Xianxia would come to their esports base to cook today. The group of youngsters immediately began to fawn over Xianxia. I'll scoop Xiao Naofu's poop today. Smog, you're my good brother. So your sister is our sister too. Brother, do you want some water? Do you want ice water, hot water, or warm water? Warm water? Warm water? He was undoubtedly a bootlicker. Xianxia waved his phone. I ordered takeout for you guys. I'll eat my sister's cooking later. You guys eat takeout. Oof. Stingy. Forget it if you don't want to eat. Takeout is just as delicious. Just as he finished speaking, the takeout and Xianxia's dishes were served at the same time. Xianxia ordered the crayfish that they often ate, as well as a barbecue wrapped in foil, which was still warm after being unwrapped. Xianxia made braised pork with quail eggs, braised prawns, braised gourd with ginger sauce, stir-fried vegetables with mushrooms, and pork ribs with corn soup. The main dish was curry chicken omelet rice. I made a few home-cooked dishes. Have a taste and see if you like them, Xianxia said gently. Wander and the others first tasted the crayfish and barbecue. Then, under Xianxia's murderous gaze, each of them took a bite of Xianxia's food. The braised pork was fatty, but not greasy. It was soft after being stewed. The fried quail egg had a texture similar to that of a tiger's skin. It was full of sugar-colored syrup. The prawns were light red and glossy, fresh, salty, and slightly sweet. The sponge gourd was refreshing and delicious, tender and fragrant. The omelet rice mixed with curry, the unique spiciness of curry and the tender and smooth egg skin were a perfect match. There is nothing more blissful than scooping a big mouthful into one's mouth. This is too good. Eat, eat, eat. Delicious. So delicious. What kind of trash is takeout? The group of young teenagers were not even afraid of Xianxia. They buried their heads in the food crazily. Bianyu asked, Sister, it must be hard for you to descend to the mortal world, right? Sister, do you play games? I'll take you flying. Sister, do you still need a younger brother? Chapter 343. The youths ate until the corners of their mouths were glossy and their cheeks were puffed up. The netizens commented, I'm used to it. Miss Xiang is really a Mary Sue. Vicissitudes of life lighting up smoke. JPG, I suspect that Sister E has drugged the food. Otherwise, why is everyone eating so happily? Are these still the rebellious and wild kids who made the club manager and coach worry so much? How can they become obedient in front of Xianxia? While Xianxia was feeding Xiao now for the prawns, the boys turned to look at Shui. Brother Shui. Captain Wander couldn't care less about table manners. While chewing, he asked, Are there any requirements for appearing on your show? Shui raised her eyebrows and said, I'm afraid you'll have to ask the director. Wander looked at Li Jianyu and asked, Uncle, can we appear on your show? Li Jianyu was confused. I'm only 2 years older than Shui. Why is Shui her brother and I'm her uncle? I'll give you 10 seconds to reorganize your words, Li Jianyu said sternly with a sullen expression. Wander was stunned for a moment before coming to a sudden realization. He exclaimed loudly, Uncle, can you give us a chance? Li Jianyu was speechless. The comment section of the live stream was flooded with ha comments. Li Jianyu said calmly, No, you guys are too expensive. We can't afford to hire you. The esports industry in China was very popular, and with the development of live streaming, the commercial value of esports players was now no less than that of celebrities. It would be fine to hire 1 or 2 people, but with so many of them, they really couldn't afford to hire them. Wander immediately exclaimed, Uncle, I could do it for free. Shui chimed in, I don't want it either. Xiao Yang said shyly, As long as I'm full. Li Jianyu was speechless. Sister E, you're indeed worthy of your reputation. You've saved the program team a 7-figure sum of money with just 1 meal. Isn't it just calling me uncle? What's the big deal? You can even call me grandpa. Li Jinyu revealed a silly smile, as if a pie had fallen from the sky. After the meal, the youngsters were all stuffed. They were all slumped on the sofa or beside the coffee table like a group of salted fish. Xiangyi placed Xiao Naofu on the ground, then pointed at Xiangyu, and then at herself. Do you want to stay with Big Brother? Or come home with me? Xiangyu was full of confidence. He had doted on Fu Fu so much that he could get whatever he wanted. He even gave his own bed to Fu Fu as a cat bed. Therefore, Fu Fu would definitely choose him. The next second, Xiao Naofu didn't even look at him as it happily jumped into Xiangyi's arms and hummed softly. Meow, meow, stupid woman. Bring this hoo-hoo home. Xiangyu's face was filled with disbelief. How could this be? How could this be? Was the love that Fu Fu had for him all these years all fake? Coincidentally, the camera gave him a close-up, and the netizens in the live stream couldn't stop laughing. So love will disappear, right? DBQ Sameoga is really pitiful, but I really want to laugh. Poor Sameoga, he's finally going to find out that Xiao Naofu is a green TB asterisk TCH. Xiangyi carried Xiao Naofu in her arms and got ready to leave. Wait! Xiangyu suddenly called out to her, his eyes falling on her arms. Fu Fu, is there something that I haven't done well enough? Xiao Naofu blinked its clear, ice-blue cat eyes and meowed. Meow, meow, goodbye, big brother. I'll miss you. Xiangyu gazed at it deeply and said in a low voice, Fu Fu, I'll come and see you. Xiao Naofu turned its head and nestled in Xiangyi's arms with a mischievous smile. Miss you? No way. Sad? No way. Hee hee, I'm just pretending. Chapter 344. This scene was completely recorded by the camera. Li Jinyu's original intention was to film Smog and Cat 2.0, but to his surprise, he managed to capture the scene of the scumbag, Xiao Naofu. Green tea Xiao Naofu, scumbag cat. Damn it, this smile is so smart. It's really smart. I suggest everyone hit the scumbag, Xiao Naofu, on the public chat. Everyone thought that apart from Shui, Xiao Naofu was invincible. However, when Xiangyi and the others returned to the manor, they discovered that there was an adorable little Shiba Inu at home. Its back was light yellow, and its belly was cream-colored. Its eyes were watery, and it was lying on the ground obediently. Xianxia said coldly, This is a dog that Uncle's friend gave him. He wants you to take care of it for him for a few days. Its name is, he reluctantly said, Little Shiji. The man, who was as cold as a snow-capped mountain, uttered these 3 words with an inexplicably cute accent. Xiangyi asked, Little lion? Its fur color does resemble a lion. Xianxia said sternly, It's little Shiji. Okay. Xiangyi bent forward and rubbed little Shiji's head tentatively. The little Shiba Inu rubbed against her palm obediently. Woof, it's so cute. I'll make you some delicious food later. Woof woof. When Xiao Naofu saw this scene, it instantly felt as if the world was collapsing. Am I not this stupid woman's favorite? She actually wants to. Pushed. She's going to cook for this mutt. Xiao Naofu was so infuriated that he scurried over on his short legs and roared at little Shiji. Meow. Meow. Little Shiji. Omega, it stared at Xiao Naofu for a few seconds and took the initiative to lick Xiao Naofu's fur to show its friendliness. Xiao Naofu thought, damn it, my body is so dirty. It waved its paws angrily and slapped little Shiji's face. Little Shiji did not retaliate after being hit, and simply took a few steps back, feeling a little aggrieved. Xiao Naofu refused to give up and wanted to hit it again. Its body was suddenly suspended in the air. Xiangyi had picked it up. The little cat felt so wrong that it wanted to die. Meow, 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 let this dog go. I'm the only one in this house. Xiao Naofu, it's only staying for a few days. Xiangyi tried to reason with it. Little uncle will take it away when the time comes. Xiao Naofu, I won't listen, I won't listen. It wriggled and broke free from Xiangyi's arms. It jumped onto the table and chose Xiangyi's cup. It waved its meaty claws and moved the cup to the edge of the table. Meow, Li Jinyu said in surprise. Is it threatening you, Sister E? Xiangyi, I think so. Woof. Little Shiji had no idea what was going on at all. It rubbed Xiangyi's calf affectionately, seemingly wanting her to rub its head. Seeing this scene, Xiao Naofu fumed and turned on its little jerk mode. Bang! The cup fell to the ground. Still not appeased, Xiao Naofu jumped onto the sofa and stepped on Tutu's plushie a few times. It then sat down aggrievedly and shook its chubby body while sobbing. Xiangyi's heart immediately softened. How could she bear to scold it? Just as she was thinking about how to coax Xiao Naofu, Shi Sui stuffed something into her hand. Xiangyi looked down to see that it was little Shiji's leash. Sister E, let's go walk the dog, she said without mentioning Xiao Naofu. However, Xiao Naofu leaped over like a whirlwind. Meow. Its tone became more and more childish and pitiful. Meow, meow. Stupid woman, you're not allowed to walk this dog. At most, I'll let you walk it. Okay? Chapter 345. 5 minutes later, Shi Sui held onto little Shiji's leash while Xiangyi carried Xiao Naofu in her arms. The two of them took a stroll in the shade of the garden. Xiao Naofu rested its meaty paws on Xiangyi's shoulder and gave little Shiji a smug look. Little Shiji barked foolishly. Woof! Xiao Naofu humphed. It then glanced at Shi Sui smugly. A dog-like man walking a dog. What a perfect match. Shi Sui raised her eyebrows with a look that seemed to be saying, I advise you not to be so arrogant. Xiao Naofu was speechless. I'm scared. It hugged Xiangyi tightly and said in a childish voice, Meow, Xiangyi said helplessly. Xiao Naofu, how many meals do you eat a day at Fourth Brother's place? It had only been a few days, and it had obviously gained weight. Xiao Naofu felt extremely guilty. Well, I just have 3 meals a day plus canned food, dried meat, dried fish, nutrition cream, hair removal cream, and some snacks. Shi Sui said, actually, I have a way to make Xiao Naofu and little Shiji live in harmony. Xiangyi's eyes lit up. Huh. Shi Sui pushed her glasses up her nose and said with a smile, why don't we send Xiao Naofu away? Xiao Naofu was speechless. Listen, is that even human? Shi Sui winked at Xiangyi. The girl understood and cooperated with him tacitly. I think we should give it a second brother. He'll definitely design a scientific and nutritious meal plan. It'll be just nice for Xiao Naofu to lose weight. Second brother, isn't that the devil, Xiangli? If I go, won't I be taken to be sterilized? Xiao and Naofu panicked. Meow, I don't want to go to second brother's place. Shi Sui said nonchalantly. Little Shiji is so obedient and eats so little. It can even guard the house. Xiao Naofu's ears twitched and it meowed anxiously. Meow, meow, meow. This hoo-hoo can also be obedient. I can also be obedient. I can also eat less. As for guarding the house, it also can. Therefore, in order to express its ferocity, Xiao Naofu made its fiercest expression. Woof, woof, woof. Xiangyi tried hard to hold back her laughter and quietly mouthed to Shi Sui, is it really okay for us to trick it like this? Shi Sui's expression did not change. Children will only grow up after being beaten up. Little Shiji woofed. His dark eyes were filled with confusion. He seemed to be wondering if Xiao Naofu was his own kind. Shi Sui praised her. Well, not bad. She screamed so fiercely that the bad guys must have been scared away. Xiao Naofu was elated by the praise. Woof. Little Shiji responded heartlessly, woof woof, but in Xiao Naofu's eyes, this dog was provoking it. Roar. Woof woof. Woof. Woof woof woof. Xiangyi couldn't help but turn her face away and laugh. Not far away, Li Jinyu was squatting on the steps, completely convinced. Daddy, sure, even a dog isn't as good as you. He looked at the screen of his cell phone, feeling very vexed. Just a few minutes ago, Li Jinyu received a message from his friend saying that Muyao TV's livestream program, Eating Well for All 3 Meals, was also going to premiere in a primetime slot on the satellite channel. The format of Eating Well for All 3 Meals was a complete copy of 2 Under One Roof, which was already enough to make Li Jinyu feel frustrated. Now, that one of them was going to premiere online and the other on a satellite channel, he felt even more upset. Although the television industry was declining and there hadn't been a variety show that broke the 2% rating for a long time, broadcasting on television meant that it had a greater influence and a wider audience. Chapter 346. On the other hand, if 2 Under One Roof was only broadcasted on the internet, the audience would still be mostly young people. At present, Two Under One Roof was far ahead of the rest in terms of viewership ratings. However, if one day the popularity of eating well for all three meals increased, perhaps Li Gui would become Li Kui in the eyes of the public. Are the efforts of the production team, Xianxia and Sister, going to go down the drain just like that? On Friday, the thing that Li Jinyu was most worried about happened. Eating Well for All Three Meals premiered on Muyao TV and other major online platforms during the primetime slot at 8 o'clock. Due to the novel theme, Yi, who was a martial arts star, and Jiang who was a famous singer with countless hit songs, the viewership ratings exceeded 1.8% within 10 minutes of the broadcast. This was almost the highest viewership ratings for a domestic variety show in the past 3 years. In terms of online viewership, Eating Well for All Three Meals was also ahead of Two Under One Roof, and the gap between them seemed to be widening. Gradually, some negative comments began to appear on the internet. Eating Well for All Three Meals is so interesting. I strongly recommend it. But what the hell is Two Under One Roof? Is it plagiarism? Muyao TV is awesome. This is the first time that our whole family can watch a variety show together. Two Under One Roof is so disgusting. They're just following the trend. Yi and Jiang have been married for so many years, but they're still so sweet. This is what love looks like at its best. Previously, Xianxia and Xianxia were all the talk about being a couple every day. I just want to say that what's fake can't be real, and what's real can't be fake. When Li Jinyu saw these comments, he was so angry that he almost smashed his cell phone. Admittedly, he knew that Muyao TV must have done something, such as hiring fake reviewers to spread rumors. But there were even more people who began to criticize Two Under One Roof without knowing the truth at all. Li Jinyu looked at Xianxia, who was cooking in the kitchen. The girl's hair was tied into a bun, and her movements were neat and tidy. Xianxia, who was beside her, although one of her arms was injured, she was still helping out, such as passing things or interacting with the netizens. In fact, it was very tiring to do a live broadcast every day, and the duration had long exceeded the original contract they had signed. However, Xianxia and Xianxia had never complained, and the staff of the program were also holding their breaths. They wanted to turn Two Under One Roof into the most popular variety show of the summer. But what should he do now? Li Jinyu was at a loss. It wasn't that he hadn't thought of having Two Under One Roof broadcast on TV, but he had been working at Muyao TV for so many years, so his connections were limited. He was just a variety show director, and he didn't have much say in it. The higher-ups of other satellite TV stations were not people he could come into contact with. Not good, Director Li. The assistant ran over in a low voice and showed him the comments in the live broadcast room. Li Jinyu's expression changed drastically. Is this the show that plagiarized Eating Well for All Three Meals? Jiang is cooking, and you're cooking too? Have some shame. Xianxia originally had a good impression of him, but I didn't expect him to have no bottom line. He's really willing to do anything for money. I'm dying of laughter. They're a real couple, and that's called showing off their love. They're not lovers at all, yet they're still trying to hype things up. They're really imitating others. Someone in the live broadcast room tried to explain, but the new viewers didn't listen at all. They left after scolding, and then new viewers flooded in. Li Jinyu couldn't help but curse. The assistant was worried. Director Li, what should we do now? If this goes on, the reputation of our show will be ruined. All of a sudden, the crisp sound of high heels could be heard from afar. Chapter 347. Da-da-da. Every sound was like the beat of a drum, hitting his heart rhythmically. Good evening, Director Li. A familiar female voice sounded in Li Jinyu's ears. He turned around and was stunned. Director Wan? It was Ruan Qing, the deputy director of Muyao TV. Ruan Qing's vision and ability were unquestionable. Back then, he had several variety show proposals, but no one was interested in them at first. Every time, Ruan Qing was the one who recognized his talent and helped him get a few popular TV variety shows. I've already resigned. Ruan Qing was wearing a blouse, a long skirt, and a geometric pattern scarf. Her makeup was exquisite and proper, and she exuded the elegant charm of a mature woman. Li Jinyu rubbed his hands helplessly and asked, "Is that so? May I know what brings you here today?" As a social worker, he was still a little nervous when facing his former boss. Ruanqing chuckled and said, "I saw the recruitment notice for your program." Li Jinyu was confused. Ruanqing pulled out a document from her bag and said, "This is my resume." Li Jinyu was dumbfounded. He was dumbfounded and looked at the scene in disbelief. In the glass greenhouse, the warm-toned glass lamps refracted magnificent and bright colors. In just a few minutes, Ruanqing had successfully joined two under one roof. Li Jinyu accepted this reality in a trance. He felt that he could go to the social worker discussion group and post about it. There would definitely be a lot of clicks. Hashtag about how I became the boss of my beautiful ex-boss and had to tell you about a hashtag that's right. Ruanqing joined the planning team of two under one roof and even became the team leader. Since the live stream was still going on, Li Jinyu explained, "When we're done, I'll get everyone to say hello to you." Okay. Ruanqing switched to work mode and took out a tablet from her bag to show Li Jinyu the PowerPoint she had prepared in advance. She said in a professional manner, "There are many reasons for the public opinion crisis that two under one roof encountered today. First of all, the people who watch live streams and variety shows overlap, but not completely. At present, live streams and variety shows account for half of the video entertainment industry in our country. The explanation is very simple, and that is two under one roof has been promoted." Promotion meant that it was broadcasted on TV. Li Jinyu smiled bitterly. "I've thought of that too, but it's not something that can be done just because you want to." Ruanqing took a sip of her coffee. "Director Li, may I ask if our production team has a complete promotion and salary increase plan?" Li Jinyu thought she was joking. "You're now the second in command of our show. If you get promoted again, you'll be the first in command." Ruanqing, "I think it's fine." Li Jinyu was confused. "What about me? I'll be the first in command, and you'll be the second in command." Li Jinyu, "Xiao Wan, you're too funny." Haha. As he laughed, he felt that something was amiss and said weakly, "You can't be serious, right?" Ruanqing smiled. With the broadcast of the television version of Eating Well for all three meals, there were more and more comments mocking two under one roof on the internet. TSK, the online premiere of Eating Well for all three meals has already exceeded 18 million views. Two under one roof only has 50 million views. What a joke. When Shui was still a newbie, she spoke rudely to our best actor Zhua. She's a junior who doesn't know how to be polite. Sooner or later, she'll be beaten up. What live stream has more than 10 million online viewers? I think half of them are just rubbish. If it's really that impressive, how can it be an online variety show? Chapter 348. People tend to have preconceived notions. Now that everyone saw Eating Well for all three meals on TV, they naturally thought that Eating Well for all three meals was the real thing, and Two Under One Roof was a fake. As for which variety show aired first and whose idea came first, they didn't even bother to check at all and simply began to criticize. Zhuyi's fans, in particular, had been clinging onto Shui. When Shui first debuted, she had collaborated with Zhuyi in a movie, and it was revealed that a newcomer had spoken rudely to a senior and was suspected of being arrogant. Later, Zhuyi won double Best Actor awards and kept mocking Shui about it. However, later on, Shui won triple Best Actor awards and was the youngest person in the entertainment industry to win the Grand Slam Best Actor awards. Hence, Zhuyi's fans didn't dare to criticize her. Until today, this old grudge was brought up again. At 9 o'clock, the live stream ended. Li Jinyu gathered the staff in the yard and introduced Ruanqing to everyone. "This is Sister Wan, my boss." Everyone was dumbfounded. "Huh? Director Li's boss?" Li Jinyu said bitterly. "In short, Sister Wan is now in charge of the planning and public relations of our program. You just have to remember that she's the boss of our program." He felt that this title would also go viral on the social media forum. Hashtag hello everyone. I'm the boss. I found myself a boss hashtag, although everyone was dumbfounded, they still greeted Ruanqing in a friendly and obsequious manner. "Hello, Sister Ruan. Sister Ruan, when can we get a raise? Sister Ruan, I want to report Director Li and Old Zhang for secretly eating chicken." Most of the people in the program were young people. Although life was a little tough, everyone had something to aspire to, and the atmosphere was particularly good. Ruanqing naturally had no problem dealing with such a situation. However, she was used to the scheming and scheming in Muyao TV, but in the face of such simple and pure enthusiasm, she was at a loss for what to do. "Do you want to have supper?" At the door of the villa, Xianxia poked her head out and asked. "I cooked some preserved egg and lean meat porridge." Everyone was eager to eat and looked at Ruanqing eagerly. Ruanqing didn't put on airs and said with a smile, "Go ahead." Everyone cheered in unison and swarmed into the kitchen. After a while, Xianxia came out with porridge and side dishes. Shi Sui was with her. Shi Sui had dealt with Ruanqing before, so she took the initiative to greet her. "Sister Ruan." Ruanqing nodded in acknowledgement, and her gaze shifted to Xianxia. The girl's temperament was calm, and her dimples were shallow when she smiled. "Hello, Sister Ruan." "Hello, Miss Xiang." Xianxia asked, "Do you want to try supper?" Ruanqing, "Then I'm in for a treat." They sat down in the pavilion. Ruanqing tasted the porridge and suddenly paused. She seemed to have understood something. Xianxia's cooking was indeed delicious. But apart from that, there was something else. It was an irresistible warmth. Perhaps coming here was the right choice. 10 minutes later, the haters were flaming two under one roof the most. The official Weibo account of Nanxing TV suddenly posted a Weibo post. "Nanxing TV, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on Saturday. Stay tuned to Nanxing TV to watch the first episode of the first season of the first domestic live-streaming variety show. Be there or be square." The official Weibo account of Two Under One Roof immediately reposted the Weibo post, causing a huge uproar online. "What the heck? Who's laughing at Two Under One Roof? Does your face hurt?" Nanxing TV is an official TV channel. "Oh, this is amazing." Chapter 349. This YWLR fan is proud and elated. No matter how awesome Muyao TV is, it's just a local TV station. Nanxing TV is an official TV station. This is the prestige. In Muyao TV group chat, after Nanchang Satellite TV posted that Weibo, the group immediately held a video conference. The station head flew into a rage. What the hell is going on? Why would Ruanqing join Two Under One Roof? How did Two Under One Roof get Nanxing Satellite TV's resources? For a moment, no one dared to speak. After a long silence, someone said in a low voice, "I heard that Ruanqing has been in contact with people from Nanxing Satellite TV recently. I heard about it too." When the station head heard this, he almost died from anger. "Then why didn't you say so earlier?" Of course, they all felt that Ruanqing was just a woman. What did she do? That was an official satellite TV station. Would they care about a woman like her? They thought that Ruanqing at most wanted to work in Nanxing Satellite TV and be a small leader. Who would have thought that she actually reached a cooperation with Nanxing Satellite TV? Eating well for all 3 meals was never as popular as Two Under One Roof. Even if their production team had arranged all kinds of scripts for Zhuo Yi and Jiangyan or to show off their love, quarrel, and fight with the guests, the number of viewers would never exceed 10 million. The popularity of the last live variety show, Heartbeat, had plummeted. It was only supported by the die-hard fans of the guests. The sponsors were all eager to get back their previous investments, let alone increase their investment. Now, it was all thanks to Muyao TV. Now that they had finally come up with a plan to snipe Two Under One Roof, they had to take advantage of the premiere of Two Under One Roof on the internet. They had to do a TV and online premiere, then fight a war of public opinion and try to steal the popularity of Two Under One Roof. As a result, Two Under One Roof was about to be broadcast on TV as well. Nanxing Satellite TV, one level higher than Muyao Satellite TV. The station head was furious. "Trash. A bunch of trash. You can't even compare to a woman." There was dead silence in the video conference. No one dared to say that the station head was the one who forced that woman to leave. Muyao TV suffered the consequences of their own actions, and Zhuyi's fans were also rebuked by the Shui sisters. Youngest Grand Slam Best Actor Sui, Suazi Heartsuit Viewership Record Holder Television Emperor Sui, Suazi Heartsuit Light of Acting Sui, Suazi Heartsuit First Class Business Sui, Suazi Heartsuit. Acting like a big shot? Did they really think that the internet had no memory? Who was the one who pretended to fight for real and broke Sui's ribs? Back then, Zhui left his image as a single male god. Now, he's the equivalent of an idol. He hid his marriage to deceive his fans, and then created a couple after marriage. Where did he find a face to step on our Xianxia? The Shui sisters' fighting prowess was not to be underestimated. Previously, in order to help two under one roof control the comments, they had scattered the crowd. Now that they had gathered together, they were able to defeat Zhuyi's fans in minutes. That night, the internet was extremely lively. Netizens from all walks of life stayed up late to watch the show. What? So Zhui had deliberately broken Xianxia's bones during filming? What? Sure, Sui's ribs were broken, but she still managed to shoot the scene in one shot. Godly acting skills? What? So sure Sui had misogyny? The only female celebrity he had ever had physical contact with was Xianxia. On the one hand, the fans of the untimely couple felt sorry for Sure Sui, but on the other hand, it didn't stop them from falling head over heels the next day. Early in the morning, the official account of Two Under One Roof announced the guests that would be coming today. Chapter 350, Two Under One Roof. Please sign here for today's surprise. We are fortunate to have invited the movie queen Xianxia to participate in today's live stream. There are also two mystery guests. Everyone, please look forward to it. We actually managed to invite Xianxia. Xianxia had excellent acting skills and gorgeous looks, but she was often attacked by others because of her sexy image in the early days of her debut. Her most famous film was Dustless, which was a collaboration with Sure Sui. In the film, Sure Sui played a detective who belonged to the good side, while Xianxia played a dancer who was both good and evil. She had a secret relationship with Sure Sui. The director formed many artistic metaphors through their relationship, and the two of them also displayed superb acting skills, which were regarded as classics in the film industry. The two of them were about the same age, and Xianxia was 30 years old this year. When the film was released, many people were shocked by their acting skills in the film and mistakenly thought that they were a real couple. Hence, the two of them were rather popular in the industry. The reason was that Sure Sui had never interacted with any actresses before. Some of Xianxia's fans immediately expressed, "Her Highness has arrived." Xianxia and Xianxia CP are worth investing in. When Sure Sui was interviewed, he said that he liked Xianxia's type very much. Haha, there's going to be a good show to watch. Xianxia is the beautiful type. Vase Fairy is going to be crushed by a beauty like Xianxia in seconds. Seeing how Xianxia's fans were being ridiculed, Xianxia's fans were displeased. Is our sister someone you can bully as you please? Hence, Xianxia's fans were taught a lesson early in the morning. They were dumbfounded. Is this Xianxia that popular? Why does she have so many fans? The live stream began at 9 o'clock in the morning. The loyal fans of Two Under One Roof immediately swarmed into the live stream. The camera panned to a distant view of the mountains in the distance, where the colorful windmills of Little Rabbit Farm were rotating in the wind. The vegetable fields were fertile, the garden was lush, and there were flocks of chickens and ducks. In the yard, Xiao Naofu and little Shiji were fighting. To be more precise, Xiao Naofu was bullying little Shiji. She refused to drink her goat milk and insisted on snatching the milk from little Shiji's bowl. The little Shiba Inu's black eyes were wet. It didn't fight back even after being hit a few times by Xiao Naofu's fleshy paws. It even gave the goat milk to Xiao Naofu. The netizens in the live stream. Hooligan acts. Sterilization warning. Wow, this Shiba Inu is so cute. What a cute little puppy. Have I been drinking too much sugar lately? I think little Shiji is spoiling Xiao Naofu a little. You don't have to. I saw the staff post yesterday. Although the two of them are of different species, they are of the same gender. Nothing good will happen if they get together. After the heartwarming scene was shot, the camera turned to the entrance of the manor. The black iron gate was covered in vines and roses. Xianxia, who was wearing a red V-neck dress, got out of the car with a strong aura. Her black high heels made her fair and straight legs look even longer. She was plump but not fat. She combed her wavy long hair, and as an actress, she accurately found the camera and smiled. Bullet comments in the live stream. "Aw, sister, kill me." Xianxia's smile is so enchanting that it makes all the beauties pale in comparison. Xianxia is such a queen. I finally get the charm of a 30-year-old sister. Vase Fairy really can't compare to her. In the next second, Xianxia turned around and got out of the car. She carried out a little bun who was wearing a princess dress and had her hair in a bun. She was also holding a rainbow lollipop tightly in her chubby little hand. Chapter 351. The netizens were dumbfounded. What the hell? Where did this child come from? Someone asked, could it be Xianxia's baby? As soon as the bullet screen was posted, Xianxia's fans immediately burst into laughter. Please don't spread rumors. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Smile. How did you know? Did you deliver her baby? If not, then shut up, okay? The production crew was also dumbfounded. However, Wan Qing was present and made a few gestures to Li Jinyu. Li Jinyu coughed and picked up the microphone to greet Xianxia from behind the camera. Xianxia, welcome to Two Under One Roof. I wish you a happy day. He didn't mention the child because he didn't want to make Xianxia feel awkward. Xianxia nodded. Hello, everyone. She looked at the little bun in her arms with a gentle gaze. This is my daughter, Jiang. The production crew was speechless. The netizens were speechless. The corners of Li Jinyu's mouth twitched. What kind of luck is this? Today's hot search is going to be dominated by their variety show again. The executives of Muyao TV, who were secretly watching the live broadcast of Two Under One Roof next door, almost vomited blood when they heard this. Another hot topic. Why did Two Under One Roof have to face it? They had spent hundreds of millions of yuan to invite Zhu Yi and Jiang Yan'er, and the guest remuneration for each episode ranged from millions to tens of millions. As far as they knew, Two Under One Roof didn't pay a high notice fee, mainly because they had always invited veteran actors and actresses. They only charged a friendship price, which was a few 100,000 yuan at most. When Xiangyi's family came, none of them asked for money. Instead, her third brother, Hades, had to fork out a lot of money. Not to mention the president of the Chinese Medicine Association, the brothers of C7, and the upcoming Logic team came for free, low-cost, high-return. That was enough to make people green with envy. This variety show has its own hot topics. For example, when Xiangyi played the Sanxian, the folk music bigwigs on Weibo, the Chinese Music Association, the cruelty exposed in the Mingxi Boys High School incident, and the subsequent reflection on education. Not to mention, when Xiangyi's brothers exposed themselves, it brought about a lot of attention. But now, Xianxia had exposed that she had a daughter. The director of Muyao TV was so angry that his eyes turned red. If he had kept Li Jinyu in the beginning, wouldn't all the achievements and popularity brought about by Two Under One Roof be his glory? Jiang's facial features were soft and adorable, and her eyes were young and round. She seemed to be very shy as she hugged her mother's neck tightly. Zhongyi asked her to greet the others, but she didn't say a word. However, when Zhongyi carried her to the courtyard and saw Shi Sui who went out to greet the guests, Jiang blinked. Shi Sui greeted her politely. Good morning, Senior Zhong. Zhongyi was only 3 years older than him, but she had been in the industry for over 10 years. She was his senior. Long time no see. You're so fat now. Zhongyi joked. I guess you've been eating well lately. Shi Sui chuckled. Is it that obvious? As soon as she said that, the little bun in Zhongyi's arms suddenly reached out a hand toward Shi Sui. Papa! In an instant, Li Jinyu's vision turned black, and he almost fainted. Father? Father sure has a daughter. Oh no, not only am I going to be on the hot search list today, my Weibo is going to be paralyzed. Shi Sui raised her eyebrows and asked, Are you Jiang? Yes. Papa, hug. The little girl reached out her chubby and milky white arms toward Shi Sui. Li Jinyu's vision turned even darker when he saw Xianxia, who appeared behind Shi Sui. Xiao Ruan, when I faint later, can you help me pinch my philtrum? Ruan Qing squinted and asked, Xiao Ruan. Li Jinyu was on the verge of breaking down. Is this the time to be fussing over what to call me? Chapter 352. Sister Ruan, is that enough? Ruan Qing pondered for a few seconds and said, You'll faint later. Let's see how things go first. If you faint now, it'll affect your work. Sister Ruan, you're such a capitalist. Xianxia was obviously stunned when she heard the soft and adorable word Papa. Shi Sui's daughter? How is that possible? Even though her rationality told her that the probability was slim, she strangely felt a sense of suffocation in her heart. She was also a little frustrated. Shi Sui didn't like children. He didn't hug Jiang and instead rubbed her little head. Jiang, I'm not your father. However, Jiang was very firm, and she exclaimed in a childish voice, You are Papa? The comment section of the live stream exploded. Oh my gosh, Jiang is Shi Sui and Zhongyi's daughter? No wonder Zhong retired for a long time a few years ago. She must have gone to give birth to Shi Sui's child. Shi Sui is toxic. Your child has already called you Papa, yet you refuse to acknowledge her? Is your own flesh and blood not as important as your character? All the major marketing companies swarmed in, and those who were quick enough had already written eye-catching drafts. Shocking. Shi Sui's biological daughter has been exposed. She's actually... Shi Sui and Zhongyi's relationship has come to fruition. I believe in love again. Zhongyi is the empress of the Empress Dowager. She's a shameless homewrecker. There were those who were just there to watch the show, those who were trying to ride on the hype, and those who were making things up. All of a sudden, rumors and slanders spread at the fastest speed. The number of viewers in the live stream of Two Under One Roof skyrocketed, and in just a few minutes, the number of viewers had already risen to millions. While everyone was watching, Zhongyi said indifferently, Jiang, you've got the wrong person. Mommy. Jiang blinked her grape-like eyes, and tears began to well up in her eyes. Mommy, you're lying. Zhongyi naturally changed the subject. Jiang, there's a kitty over there. Don't you like kitty the most? Jiang was only 3 years old and was at the age when her attention was easily diverted. When she saw Xiao Naofu, her eyes lit up and she fluttered her little legs. Mommy, I want to go down. Zhongyi put her on the ground, and the little girl bounced toward Xiao Naofu, looking carefree and innocent. Zhongyi tried to make light of it, but the netizens didn't buy it. Zhongyi must be hiding something. That's it. The denial is too weak. I was only 30% convinced just now, but judging by Zhongyi's attitude, I'm 70% convinced that she's having an affair with Shi Sui. Miss Xiang. Zhongyi had watched some videos of Two Under One Roof before she came, so she recognized Xianxia. Xianxia stepped forward and greeted him politely. Do you have any tasks for me? Zhongyi asked. Li Jinyu continued. Today's task is to change pots and fertilize the plants. Then, we have to build a fence around the vegetable field. Zhongyi nodded, indicating that she got it. She asked Xianxia, Where's the room? I'd like to change into some lighter clothes. Senior, this way please. Xianxia brought her to change her clothes. The two of them were polite and distant, but that was actually normal. After all, they didn't know each other before. However, in the eyes of the netizens, countless meanings were interpreted. Zhongyi is really like an empress. The vase fairy is like a maid in contrast. TSK, I feel like a battle is about to start. Zhongyi has such a good figure. She can easily defeat Xianxia. Zhongyi has been working with Shi Sui since 5 years ago. A certain female celebrity is considered to have interfered in their relationship. Chapter 353. The netizens were having a great time gossiping about the emotional entanglements between celebrities. All of a sudden, all sorts of speculations popped up. Some said that Shi Sui and Zhongyi had a one-night stand, and that Shi Sui abandoned Zhongyi and her mother after becoming famous. Some said that Shui and Zhong Yi had long been married in secret. Just like Shui Yi and Jiang Yuner, they were going to announce it today. Xianxia, on the other hand, had become the third party in the public opinion. While the others were talking, Zhong Yi changed her clothes and came out of the bathroom. She was wearing a black singlet, tight-fitting sweatpants, and a large oversized jacket. The gender-neutral sportswear style neutralized the sexiness of her figure, making her look clean and suave. Zhong Yi's fans immediately started praising her, and they didn't forget to criticize Xianxia. Sister looks so beautiful in sportswear. Best actress Zhong Yi. Movie queen who can charm and defeat. Sister's figure is really like the ceiling of female celebrities. Vase fairy, who relies on her face to make a living, stand back. In the next second, Xianxia also appeared in front of the camera. She didn't change out of her clothes and simply took off her cute apron. Inside, she was wearing a blue short-sleeved shirt with a few daisies dotted on her chest. She was also wearing a pair of high-waisted, wide-legged pants that accentuated her long legs and slender waist. His outfit was simple, languid, and casual, but it made it impossible for one to look away. The comments in the live stream seemed to have lagged, and it took a few seconds for the comments to be refreshed. I have a similar short-sleeve shirt, so the daisies on her chest look like they are in full bloom? To be honest, I don't usually think that Xianxia is very good-looking, but when I compare her to Zhong Yi, I realize that she's really beautiful. I'm dying of laughter. Is this your first day surfing the internet? Do you really think anyone can be called a vase fairy? The word vase is enough to prove that she's worth it. Coincidentally, Xianxia and Zhong Yi were in the same frame. It was only hurt when there was a comparison. Zhong Yi's fans realized that Xianxia seemed to be fairer, slimmer, in her breasts. F*CK. What the hell did you eat when you were growing up? Xianxia demonstrated it once. She just took out the plants and soil from the flower pot and put them into a bigger flower pot. She then added nutritious soil and slow-release fertilizer. You can put some of these insecticides into the soil to prevent pests from appearing. For slow-release fertilizer, just sprinkle it around like this. Xianxia explained the steps very patiently. Some netizens noticed that the pots of flowers she gave to Zhong Yi were all small and light, while the ones she gave to Zhong Yi were bigger. Someone praised, "Sister Yi is really gentle. Love. There were also people who scolded. Isn't he just trying to perform in front of the camera? Prove that you're doing more work than Zhong Yi, scheming woman." When Xianxia got up to pick up a pot of flowers from the flower rack, her short sleeves rolled up along with her movements, revealing her slender waist and skin that was glowing under the sunlight. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the comment section of the live stream changed. Sister Yi's back isn't a back, it's a Bulgarian rose. Sister Yi's waist isn't a waist, it's a deadly scimitar. Hurry up and block Xianxia's view. Mommy won't allow others to see Xianxia's waist. At this moment, Zhong Yi's fans in a live stream no longer had the cheek to dish Xianxia with her beauty and figure. After all, the feeling of being slapped in the face was too uncomfortable. Chapter 354. Zhong Yi looked up and inadvertently saw this scene. Just as she was thinking about how to tactfully remind Xianxia, a tall figure suddenly appeared behind Xianxia and happened to block the camera. Xianxia turned around with the flower pot in her arms and blinked in confusion when she saw Shui behind her. The girl's short-sleeved shirt returned to normal as she turned around. Shui took the flower pot from her hand, and their fingertips accidentally brushed against each other. Shui didn't show any discomfort and asked casually, "How much pottery?" "Just a thin layer to cover the bottom of the pot." Shui nodded slightly and went to the side to put the pottery into the flower pot one by one. The two of them got along harmoniously and naturally. A strange look flashed across Zhong Yi's eyes. As someone who had acted with Shui before, she knew how powerful Shui's misogyny was. The two of them had once filmed dozens of scenes but still failed. In the end, the director had no choice but to give up and replace the physical contact with a confrontation of the eyes. At that time, she was very curious about what to do if such a man really fell in love with her. However, she now realized that Shui didn't seem to resist physical contact with Xianxia. "Mommy, Jiangjiang's call pulled Zhong Yi back from her wandering thoughts. She turned around and saw that Jiangjiang was hugging Xiao Naofu with a bright smile on her face. Xiao Naofu was in despair. Why are human cubs so annoying? However, it didn't dare to struggle. It heard that human cubs were very fragile, and Xiao Naofu was afraid that it would hurt the cub with a casual swipe of its paw. Hence, it was bullied by Jiangjiang to the point that it had nothing to live for. Jiangjiang exclaimed, "Mommy, this kitty can bark like a dog." Xiao Naofu protested, "Meow. I'm not a cat. I don't bark like a dog. That's clearly the roar of a fierce tiger. Kitty, can you bark?" Jiangjiang's clear eyes were full of anticipation. Xiao Naofu coldly turned his face away and ignored her. Zhong Yi said helplessly, "Jiangjiang, you can't bully Kitty." "Okay." Little Loli pouted and placed Xiao Naofu on the ground. Xiao Naofu, as if it had been granted amnesty, rushed towards Xiangyi. But halfway through, he was grabbed by the back of his neck. "Sister Yi is busy." "Don't disturb Sister Yi," Shui said with a smile. "Do you want me to play with you? How about a kiss?" Xiao Naofu was instantly enraged. "Woof, woof, woof. Dream on. Wishful, thinking dog man." Jiangjiang's eyes widened and she said in admiration, "Wow, Papa is so amazing. It can actually make a kitten bark like a dog." Zhong Yi seemed to have thought of something as she remained silent. This scene was seen by the netizens in the live stream. "So loving. It's obvious that he's coaxing his daughter." The look in Zhong Yi's eyes is so sad. It must have been hard for her to raise a child all these years. Scumbag Shui. If you have the ability, then make an official announcement. If you don't care, why are you teasing Jiangjiang? She had gotten her father's love and lost it. Are you still human? The netizens were filled with righteous indignation, and they immediately imagined Shui as a scumbag father. An untimely couple fan said, "Shurindi might be coaxing Xiangyi too." Immediately, he became the target of public criticism and was scolded like a sieve. In their eyes, Shui, Zhong Yi, and Jiangjiang were a family of three. Xiangyi was superfluous. It was right to scold the mistress. On the contrary, there was a moral problem. There was a mistake in their thinking. They were openly supporting the mistress. Chapter 355. Most of the time, the more people there were, the more reason there was. As long as the moral high ground was high enough, they could judge others to their heart's content. What was the truth? Was it important? People always believed in what they thought was the truth. Just when the netizens in the live stream thought that they had done justice, Shui rubbed Xiao Naofu's head and placed it in an empty flower pot next to Sister Yi. She said gently, "Don't run around. Be careful not to get pricked by the thorns." Xiao Naofu snorted. "I'm not afraid." It waved its paw to show off its power, but it happened to be next to a pot of cactus. Meow, 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 meow. The little kitten cried miserably. Xiangyi, who was at the side, wiped her hands and carried Xiao Naofu back to the living room. However, Shui squatted in front of Jiangjiang and said seriously, "Jiangjiang, you have to call me uncle." Jiangjiang felt aggrieved. "But your daddy, I'm not." Shui's voice was gentle, but his attitude was firm. "Jiangjiang, will you call someone else mommy?" Jiangjiang sounded like she was about to cry. "No, why?" "Because I believe you know that if you call someone else mommy, your mommy will be sad. So if you call me daddy, your real daddy will be sad too." Shui tried his best to speak with logic that children could understand, but Jiangjiang still burst into tears. "I'm sorry, Senior Zhong. I hope you can have a good talk with Jiangjiang. I don't want this misunderstanding to continue. Okay?" Shui looked at Zhong Yi. Zhong Yi's lips curled into a bitter smile. Indeed, he hasn't changed. Two contradictory words could appear on Shui at the same time. He was gentle yet cruel. He was really a gentleman most of the time and was polite to everyone. However, in some aspects, he refused to take a step back. She originally had some selfish motives, but now, it seemed that Shui would not tolerate it all. Zhong Yi closed her eyes and made up her mind. "Jiangjiang, this is Uncle Shui. He's not your father. Your daddy has gone to a faraway place." Jiangjiang sobbed and asked, Then, will I still be able to see Daddy? We'll never see him again. Zhongyi's voice was trembling. Xianxia cried even harder. He comforted her with a soft voice. On the other hand, Sui's gaze remained indifferent. It was as if cold blood was flowing under his handsome appearance. In the live stream, countless viewers felt upset because of Xiang's tears. The scumbag must die. Sigh, no matter what the adults are like, what did the children do wrong? Xiang is so pitiful. He is clearly putting on a brave front. I'm going to vomit. I thought the clock couple was real, but I didn't expect Shui to be so selfish. Not only did they not announce it, but they even forced Xiang not to call him daddy. She forced Zhongyi to lie to the child. Shui would probably be drowned by the overwhelming comments if they were converted into spittle. In the living room of the villa, Xianxia applied some aloe vera gel on Xiao and bandaged it simply. Li Jinyu and Ruanqing rushed over in time and gestured for the cameraman to film little Shiji's daily life for a while before telling Xianxia to turn off the microphone on her clothes. Sister Yi, Jiang is not Sui's daughter. Li Jinyu explained anxiously. Xianxia said calmly, Yes, I know. Li Jinyu heaved a sigh of relief and said, Sister Yi, you're so smart. Ruanqing was speechless. What kind of man is this? It was obvious from the little girl's expression that she was jealous. Chapter 356. Li Jinyu was still babbling. Sister Yi, don't worry. There's nothing going on between Mr. Shi and Zhongyi. Xianxia said, is that so? Li Jinyu said, they just worked together in a movie. Because their scenes together were so spectacular, they have a bunch of fans who love them together. Xianxia said, oh, I see. But most of the couples in the entertainment industry are fake. It's either a publicity stunt or just a figment of the imagination of the fans. Ruanqing covered his mouth and asked with a smile, how's Xiao? It's all right, it's just a little pricked. Xianxia placed it in the kitty villa, but Xiao refused to sleep and insisted on occupying little Shiji's kennel. It lay flat on the ground with its buttocks sticking out. Maybe you can talk to Shui, Ruanqing suggested. Xianxia said calmly, you've misunderstood. There's nothing for the two of us to talk about. We just work together on a variety show. Most of the couples in the entertainment industry are fake. The two of us are no exception. Ruanqing coughed, wanting to remind her that Shui was right behind her. However, Xianxia was still calmly narrating. We're not a real couple. It doesn't matter to me whether he has a child or not. Me too. She paused, seemingly not trying to convince Ruanqing, but trying to hypnotize herself. I'm just a fan of his. The man at the door was tall and slender. He was standing against the light, and his handsome face was hidden in the darkness, making it impossible to tell his emotions. Li Jinyu held his breath, not daring to make a sound. What kind of hell is this? Ruanqing hesitated for a few seconds and asked tentatively, so, you don't like Shui at all? Li Jinyu's gaze was vivid, as if to say, Sister Ruan, are you crazy? In the next second, Xianxia said in a huff, I don't like her. The figure at the door paused stiffly for a few seconds. A moment later, the man left. Boom! Li Jinyu's heart was about to break. He hadn't even had the chance to witness the untimely beginning. But was he going to witness the untimely end? But Ruanqing asked again, you really don't like it? She smiled and said, Zhongyi and Shui are together now, and they have a child together. The three of them seem to be a good family. Li Jinyu looked at Ruanqing in disbelief. Sister Ruan, why are you fanning the flames? But he didn't expect something unexpected to happen. The room was silent. Xianxia didn't answer the question. She just held the cat teaser and, seriously, teased the air. Li Jinyu was confused. Sister Yi, are you blind? Xiao is obviously in the kennel. Why are you waving the cat stick at the cat kennel? The corners of Ruanqing's lips curled up. There are some things that could be conveyed without words. She walked up and patted Xianxia on the shoulder. I forgot to tell you something. Today's two mystery guests are related to you. Xianxia, Before she finished speaking, a kind and warm voice came from the door. Good girl, Tutu, Grandma is here to see you. Xianxia's eyes, which were originally gloomy, immediately lit up. "Grandma!" Madame Xiang entered the entrance and yelled, "Old man, since you're already here, why are you standing at the door?" Xiang Yin's stubborn voice came from outside the door. "What do you know? I'm just enjoying the scenery." Madame Xiang covered her mouth and snickered. She whispered to Xiangyi softly, "Ignore him." He got up early in the morning and changed into more than 10 sets of clothes in order to attend your show today. I've never seen such a shameless old man. Chapter 357. Xiangyi imagined old Mr. Xiang changing into different sets of clothes, feeling both touched and teary-eyed. She turned her face away to hide the emotions in her eyes. Madame Xiang sensed that Xiangyi was behaving strangely and raised her hand to touch her little head. Her movements were gentle and affectionate as ever. "Did you encounter something that made you upset? Tell me about it." "It's nothing. You can lie to others, but you can't lie to Grandma," Madame Xiang coaxed. "If you have any grievances, feel free to tell me. Grandpa and Grandma are here to support my dear Tutu." Although Xiang Yin was pacing back and forth outside the door, he kept peeking into the living room from time to time. When he saw the door, he barked angrily. "Which blind fool bullied you?" Xiangyi sniffed and said, "It's really nothing." She was not afraid of being wronged. She was afraid that her family would show her concern after she was wronged. Madame Xiang said in displeasure, "What are you yelling for? Are you trying to show off your loud voice? Don't scare my dear Tutu." Xiang Yin was speechless. He gritted his teeth and lowered his voice. "Have you forgotten what I taught you when you were a child? If you encounter anything, you must tell your family as soon as possible." The Xiang family taught their children from a young age that their family would always be their strongest support. Hence, the children of the Xiang family were known for being united, and the elders were also known for being protective. Xiang Yin once got into a fight with the parents of a naughty child who lifted Xiangyi's skirt in kindergarten. At that time, he said, "If you don't teach your child a lesson today, I'll teach you a lesson," which was regarded as a classic quote. "I didn't forget." Xiangyi smiled, not wanting the two elders to worry about her. "Grandpa, Grandma, please take a seat first. I'll go pick some fruits for you." Xiang Yi went out with the bamboo basket. Li Jianyu was used to being carefree, so he went back to work. Ruan Qing stayed in the living room for a while and briefly explained what happened just now. She didn't express any subjective emotions and simply stated that Jiang had misunderstood Shi Sui as her father before leaving too. Xiang Yin frowned and said, "This rascal, he's not worthy of my granddaughter at all." Madame Xiang took a sip of tea unhurriedly and said, "It's your granddaughter's fault for falling in love with him." "What did you say?" "Impossible. That's impossible." Madame Xiang rolled her eyes. "If Tutu doesn't like it, do you think it will affect her mood?" Xiang Yin fell silent. Xiangyi could be said to have been brought up by them, so they knew the little girl's character best. She was a calm and patient child. She would not be annoyed even if she read a boring medical book for an entire day. She would not cry even if her fingers were to bleed from playing musical instruments. As long as she set her mind on something, she would do it without any distractions. It seemed that nothing could affect her. But now, Shi Sui was one more person who could affect her. At the thought of this, Xiang Yin felt extremely vexed. Madame Xiang was meticulous. She thought about it more than he did. She straightened her collar and said, "I'm going to live stream now. Is the most important thing now. Let our Tutu realize her error and mend her ways. Don't let that wretched man steal her away." Madame Xiang looked at him sympathetically and said, "Haven't you ever thought that it's our Tutu who wants to steal someone else?" Xiang Yin was dumbfounded. The two old men arrived at the glass greenhouse, and Zhong Yi happened to come out with Jiang. Jiang walked towards Shi Sui, her eyes red from crying. "Uncle, I'm sorry." Shi Sui expressed assent indifferently and picked up the kettle to water the plants that had just been repotted. The corner of his shirt was gently tugged, and he looked down. Jiang's eyes were full of anticipation. "Uncle, can you be my daddy?" Chapter 358. Little Lolita was innocent and her eyes were red. If it were anyone else, their heart would have softened. However, Shi Sui was indifferent, and he didn't even stop watering the flowers. "I'm sorry, Jiang." Shi Sui didn't say anything else, but Xianxia had already understood what he meant. Tears welled up in her big, black, grape-like eyes, and she slowly let go of the corner of Sui's shirt. The viewers of the live stream broke out into an uproar again because of this scene. I've never seen such a cold-blooded father. Even if she's not his biological daughter, she's still young. What's wrong with coaxing her? Madame Xiang stepped forward and comforted her softly. Jiang, do you want some candy? She took out a toffee aceto from her pocket. Shui was speechless. He suddenly understood why Sister Yi's family gave her candy to coax her. Jiang hesitated for a moment, but in the end, she couldn't resist the temptation of the candy. She took the toffee aceto and said in a soft and tender voice, "Thank you, Grandma." "You're welcome." Madame Xiang was very approachable, and she was the kind of grandmother who was especially popular with children. Jiang, can you tell Grandma why you call this Uncle Daddy? Jiang looked at Shui and then at Zhong Yi. After a while, she said slowly, "Because Mommy showed me a photo of Daddy. Uncle and Daddy look very alike. But just because they look alike doesn't mean that they're the same person, right?" Jiang nodded. Madame Xiang easily dealt with little Lolita and looked up at Shui. "Shui, Grandma watched you grow up, and I believe you're a responsible man. Is Jiang your daughter?" The netizens in a live stream immediately perked up. Will the tables turn this time? However, Shui sighed helplessly and said, "Grandma, I've never even had a girlfriend before. How can I have a daughter?" The netizens were flabbergasted. Is this for real? Shui is still denying it. Not far away, Zhong Yi's face turned pale. She pursed her lips and tried to change the subject. "Where's Miss Xiang? I want to ask her how much insecticide she put in." Madame Xiang suddenly asked. "Miss Zhong, forgive me for being nosy, but may I ask if Shui is Jiang's biological father?" Madame Xiang's intuition told her that there was something wrong with Zhong Yi. Her attitude was too vague. This naturally made it easy for people to misunderstand. It was clearly something that could be explained in one sentence, but she kept avoiding the important points and dwelling on the trivial ones. It was inevitable that she would give people space to let their imaginations run wild. The old lady looked elegant and gentle, but in fact, she had a strong vibe. Her eyes seemed to be able to see through people's hearts. Seeing her, Zhong Yi's heart skipped a beat. She clenched her fists and said hoarsely, "Is it that important?" Jiang misunderstood, and her eyes lit up again. "Mommy, are you lying to me? Is Uncle an uncle or Papa?" This time, before Madame Xiang could say anything, Xiang Yin hollered loudly. "This woman, comrade, parents are children's role models. Please teach by example and by word of mouth. Teach your own children well." Zhong Yi's emotions froze. The netizens in the live stream who were enjoying the show were dumbfounded. Did I hear wrongly? Xiang Yin called Zhong Yi a woman. Someone immediately retorted passionately. Did he call her a woman? Does he know how to respect women? The old lady is being unreasonable and the old man is being overbearing. This family is so ill-mannered. The bad guys have really aged. For the sake of their granddaughter, they're hurting others so brazenly? Chapter 359. There were plenty of people who sympathized with Zhong Yi and Jiang's encounter, but their sympathy turned into anger. They desperately needed an outlet to vent their anger. First, it was Shui, and now it was Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang. Zhong Yi was usually addressed as sister, so it took her a while to accept the title of comrade. Zhong Yi's heart was filled with bitterness. Of course, she could guess that Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang were backing Xiang Yi up. She really envied Xiang Yi, who was doted on so much. Jiang, I'm sorry, I lied to you. Uncle Shui is not your father. Zhong Yi finally came clean. Jiang's eyes were full of disappointment. Then, where's Daddy? She asked eagerly. Daddy, he's no longer in this world. It took Zhong Yi a lot of effort to tell the truth. He has become a star in the sky to protect you, Jiang. The 3-year-old Jiang didn't quite understand, but she could feel the sadness in her mother's body. Tears rolled down her cheeks, breaking her heart. The audience watching the live stream froze in front of the screen. Zhong, he means that Jiangjiang's father has passed away? Madame Xiang couldn't bear to see the child cry, so she took the initiative to coax Jiangjiang. Zhong, he pursed her lips and looked at Shui. Can I talk to you? Li Jinyu gestured for the cameraman to leave, but Zhong, he said, it's okay, you can film. It also meant that she agreed to live stream the conversation between her and Shui. The two of them walked towards the vegetable field like old friends taking a stroll. However, Shui maintained an appropriate social distance from her. He was gentlemanly and distant. Zhong noticed this small detail, and a look of self-deprecation flashed across her eyes. Indeed, Shui's misogyny is as bad as ever. I want to apologize to you, Shui. I'm sorry. It's because Jiangjiang's father has already passed away before she was born. He was a doctor who unfortunately met with an accident when he was participating in an international volunteer event abroad. Zhong lowered her eyes. Her beautiful face was filled with pain. But I wanted to selfishly leave something for Jiangjiang. So, when Jiangjiang asked about her father, I showed her the stills of you in untainted and lied to her that it was her father. Shui had slimmed down to look like a paper doll for the sake of the role of Dustless. In the stills, Shui had applied makeup and filters, so he looked slightly different from the real Shui. However, they were the same person after all. Hence, when Jiangjiang saw him, she felt that Shui resembled her father. The netizens who had been the most aggressive in the live stream were dumbfounded. What the hell? All this wasn't because Shui was a scumbag, but because Zhong was lying. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean anything else. I just didn't want Jiangjiang to feel like a child without a father. Zhong lost control of her emotions and covered her face with her hands to block her tears. Actually, you don't look like him at all. He's not as good looking as you are, and he's not as tall as you are, but he's really, really good. At the end of her sentence, Zhong was already a little incoherent, but one could tell that she was referring to Jiangjiang's biological father. Shui's eyes were deep and dark. He lowered his eyelids, and the emotions in his eyes were thin and cold. Senior, my condolences. I think you need to be alone for a while. As soon as he said that, the Shui couple was completely heartbroken. Shui, you scumbag. You're heartless. Chapter 360. Can't you coax her? Can't you at least give her a tissue instead of a hug? Doesn't Shui's family love to brag about their high EQ? Why aren't they bragging now? How can they leave a girl to cry? However, Shui's sisters were displeased to see that Shui had been criticized. In the beginning, they had some scruples and were worried about the relationship between Shui and Jiangjiang. Now that they had clarified it, they no longer had any concerns. A couple is a couple, but they are two different people. Smile, smile, the two of them are just seniors and juniors. They can't even be considered friends. What's wrong with leaving Zhong alone? To those who are criticizing scumbags, I hope you all find a warm boyfriend who can coax other girls, take away our Shui. A gentleman is not equal to a central air conditioner. Thank you. Although Zhong had fans, they were no match for Shui. In just a few minutes, the comments in the live stream returned to peace and tranquility. The reason was none other than that they couldn't win against Shui. In the face of absolute popularity and power, Shui would crush them as soon as she made a move. Shui didn't return to the glass greenhouse and instead went to the vegetable field. The fence had already been fenced, and there was only one last step left: painting. Shui held a small brush and lowered his head to slowly brush the white paint. Soon, he heard the familiar sound of footsteps, and the corners of his lips curled up slightly. He had successfully waited for the rabbit to appear. He raised his head, his long and narrow peach blossom-shaped eyes curving upwards. When he smiled, he always looked affectionate and affectionate. Xianxia slowly returned from the orchard with a basket of fruits. The fence was the only way to get there. Sister E, you've picked so many fruits, Shui greeted. Xianxia replied with a hum, obviously colder than usual. The netizens were appalled. No way, no way. Is untimely wedding going to fail too? I have a bold idea. Is Sister E jealous? Xianxia looks so much like Rua when she's sulking. She's just like her brothers when they pretend to be aloof. Xianxia was about to leave expressionlessly, but she couldn't help but glance at Shui. The hand injury left behind by the obsessive fan, all as well year-round, had not completely healed. He could only use one hand to paint. Although he painted very evenly and meticulously, not only was the speed slow, but it also looked very laborious. Xianxia couldn't take another step. Shui asked gently, "Why don't you go back? It's too sunny here. Be careful not to get sunburned." Seriously, she was too worrisome. Xianxia slowly walked to Shui's side and said awkwardly, "I'll do it. You go back." Shui said, "It's okay. I can do it." Xianxia said, "No, you can't." Shui couldn't help laughing. "How do you expect me to answer that?" Before Xianxia could answer, the netizens in the live stream had already started spamming, "Shui can't do it." Xianxia snatched the brush from Shui's hand and stuffed the fruit into his hands. She said fiercely, "Go eat the fruit. Leave this to me." Shui's eyes were full of smiles. "Sister E, I'm really not as useless as you think. You're so long-winded." Xianxia pulled a long face. "You're so noisy." Shui blinked, and a moment later, he went to the staff member's side. When he returned, he had a floral parasol in his hand. Whoosh! His well-defined fingers opened the umbrella for Xianxia. His voice was gentle and affectionate. "You'll be bored if you're alone. I'll be quiet. Don't mind me, okay?" Chapter 361. The umbrella was so small that it couldn't fit two people at all. Shui covered most of the umbrella over Xianxia's head, allowing the sunlight to pour on her shoulders. "Xianxia, up to you." She buried her head in painting, her movements quick and hurried, as if she was trying to hide the restlessness in her heart. Shui didn't say a word and just silently held the umbrella for her. The comments in the live stream had already exploded. Another day of tears for Sister Yi's beautiful love. "Ah, it's not that Shui isn't warm. It's just that you're not the warm one. Holding an umbrella is too sweet. Mommy, I'm eating candy. I'm covering my mouth." "Don't cry, Zhongchong couple. You guys can come and cheer for untimely couple. I guarantee sweetness. I guarantee authenticity." Shui has double standards. To Zhong Yi, "I think you need to be alone for a while." To Sister E, "I'll be quiet. Don't despise your brother, okay?" The fans of the couple were kowtowing, but the marketing accounts wanted to cry, but had no tears. The KPI was gone just like that. The more eye-catching the article was, the more embarrassing it was to be slapped in the face. Shui's daughter exposed? It's all a lie. Without the gimmick of Shui's daughter, just the words Zhong Yi's daughter couldn't attract much traffic at all. For the sake of click-through rates, some people were so evil that they took an extreme route, and that was slandering Zhong Yi. All of a sudden, comments such as "Zhong Yi is pregnant out of wedlock," "Zhong Yi's blood-sucking daughter," and "Zhong Yi and her daughter are trying to ride on Shui's popularity," sprung up like bamboo shoots after a rain. Many netizens felt that they had been cheated by Zhong Yi, and for a while, there was a wave of criticism. "She's giving birth to a child before marriage? Disgusting. Their daughter is only 3 years old, and they can't wait to bring her out to make money." Maybe it's all self-directed and self-staged. Negative publicity is still popularity. Of course, there's money to be made if there's popularity. Zhong Yi hasn't made any waves in the past few years, and her works have all been flops. Maybe she's just here to show off her face, and then she's flirting with others. Zhong Yi didn't think that her selfishness would cause such a huge backlash. Xianxia brushed the fence as fast as she could. With white railings and green vegetable fields, it looked quite small and fresh. The girl picked a few green and red chili peppers. She turned around and looked at Shui, who was still holding the umbrella, and said awkwardly, "Let's go back." Shui went to return the umbrella. Xianxia was about to pick up the fruit basket on the ground, but Shui picked it up before her. She chuckled and said, "My brother can still carry it." Xianxia thought about it. Since it wasn't very heavy, she didn't argue with him. After all, Shui was a fragile and sensitive man. Shui, it wouldn't be good to hurt his pride. The two of them walked side by side on the way back. Xianxia stood on his left side and found that the exposed fair skin of his collarbone had turned red from the sun's rays. She felt really strange. She didn't know why she was angry at Shui, and she didn't know why she felt sorry for him. She was conflicted and confused. Shui noticed the confused expression on the girl's face and said in a low voice, "Sister E?" Xianxia suddenly stopped in her tracks. As if she was suddenly enlightened, she suddenly looked at Shui, only to meet his abyss-like dark eyes. Xianxia thought of a possibility. She, maybe, probably, seemed to. She wasn't a fan of Shui's mother, but a fan of Shui's girlfriend. She had fallen in love with Shui. Chapter 362. Whoosh. It was as if the thousands upon thousands of mountains shrouded in dense fog had dispersed, and something had become clear and profound. Xianxia was shocked. She actually liked Shui. What if Shui finds out? The filming of Two Under One Roof would take about 2 months, and there was still about half of the time left. If Shui found out about her thoughts, then wouldn't it be very awkward for her to get along with Shui for the next month? Sistery, are you okay? The man's low magnetic voice sounded in her ear. Xianxia pretended to be calm and asked, "Ahem, what do Senior Zhong and Jiang like to eat?" In a split second, Xianxia had already thought of a countermeasure. Act as him. In a certain world that she had transmigrated to, she had also played many supporting roles in order to help the protagonist win the Best Actress award. She felt that she wasn't particularly bad. So, Shui shouldn't be able to find out. Little did she know that Shui had noticed her abnormality almost immediately. He was more sensitive to people's emotions than ordinary people. The man raised his long eyebrows and said, "I'm not sure." He had worked with Zhongyi before, but he didn't know her taste at all. Or rather, he didn't care at all. Xianxia pretended to be calm and said, "Oh, I see. I'll ask them later then." "Sistery, are you nervous?" Almost as soon as Shui finished speaking, Xianxia exclaimed like a cat with its hair standing on end, "No." "Then you." Shui sized her up with a half smile, and his eyes gradually widened. "Why are you walking with your hands and feet in the same direction?" Xianxia was speechless. She said stubbornly, "Maybe you saw wrongly." However, this scene was honestly recorded by the camera. The fans expressed that they found it adorable. Why is Sister E in a daze? She looks so cute when she walks with her hands and feet in the same direction. Xianxia really looked like a little rabbit when she was frightened just now. The white and soft kind. F***CK. I'm going to become a fan of the couple. E is so cute. No man is worthy of her. Me too. I just want to see a beautiful Missy surrounded by a bunch of puppies. Xianxia used the fruit she picked, yogurt, and nuts to make a fruit scoop. After busying himself for half a day, he finally got such a cold and sweet bite. It was simply too satisfying. Xianxia did not add any ice cubes for Jiang's portion. Little Lolita took a bite, and her little but fluttered in happiness. Good. What are you supposed to say when someone gives you food? Jiang blinked and asked in a soft and tender voice, "Is there more?" Zhong, he was confused. The adults in the room were all amused by the children's words. Zhong, he rubbed her forehead helplessly. At this moment, Li Jinyu took the microphone and began to advertise. Good news. Sister E and Shui's double cover magazine is about to be released. 90 yuan. You won't be at a disadvantage if you buy it. Please buy it on the official Weibo account of my style. Also, please pay me the advertising fee. Li Jinyu hereby kneels down and thanks the sponsor. The netizens watching the live stream were appalled. Son, you're so good at advertising. Ha. It's finally going to be released. Bye. I must buy it. The photo of Shui holding on his sister Yi's leg and refusing to kiss her. I bet that photo must be the cover. Damn it. Everyone go to Weibo. My style is up to something. They've actually separated the male and female versions into AB and AB versions. The two covers are different. Chapter 363. Everyone flocked to Weibo, only to discover that 2 minutes ago, the official account of My Style had updated its status. My Style V, hashtag Shui and Xianxia June cover hashtag I've waited for thousands of years just to meet you at this moment. Mass is not proportional to volume. She attracts me with a mass that far exceeds that of the earth. I want to fall into hell with her. However, at the end of the endless abyss, I see a star. Sure Sui v Xianxia v, the men's edition A, is trapped. The women's edition B is sinking, and the physical edition is shackled by Morningstar. There are also 3 pre-sale links at the end of the Weibo post, 2 for electronic issues and 1 for physical issues, which would go on sale at 12 o'clock sharp. MS Magazine usually sold 1 electronic issue and 1 physical issue, but this was the first time there were separate editions for men and women. Many netizens immediately began cursing. Are they crazy about money? I'm going to vomit. What kind of unscrupulous magazine company is this? They brag about the fan economy every day. Do they really take their fans for fools? We're not leaks. However, someone sent something unusual. Are the 3 versions of the photo the same? If they are, it doesn't make sense for them to sell the same photos 3 times, does it? This question was quickly answered by the official Weibo account. Dear, all 3 versions of the photo are different, and they all have their own focus. Cute, cute. In an instant, those who knew what was going on immediately understood. In addition to the cover of the magazine, the 2 of them also had an interview, and there were at least several photos in the inside pages. For the male version, there should be more photos of Sure Sui. For the female version, there should be more photos of Xianxia. As for the physical issue, there should be more photos of the 2 of them. In this case, fans could purchase according to their needs. In a sense, it could also be said to be a personalized service. However, the CP fans wailed, "Oh, what should I do? I want all 3 versions." Only children make choices. Adults choose to buy all of them. The buyers are not as good as the sellers. And scrupulous merchants. I'll buy it, okay? Collecting and hoarding are human instincts, so I'm just following my instincts and not spending money recklessly. There were also many discussion posts on the well-known gossip forum, Melon, mainly about which version would sell the most. A Sure Sui sister showed up and posted a very professional analysis post. Title: Prediction: Sure Sui version A will sell first. Not me eating a keyboard live. Text: Combining the data before the age of 10, there is no doubt that he is the absolute ceiling for male artistes. The sales volume of the previous few magazine covers has set records, not to mention the ability to increase luxury goods. He is the kind that even the little fresh meats can't beat. The drawings and tables are as follows. As for the other vase fairy, M, she had only released 1 single since her debut, and her electronic sales were a joke. Her endorsements were all right, but her sales were mediocre. On the other hand, she inexplicably became popular with dishwashers and electric barbecue plates. She could be considered to have some ability to sell goods. However, a C-lister was a C-lister. How could the light of a firefly compete with the brilliance of the bright moon? Of the 3 versions, Sure Sui version A is the best seller. The double cover version is the 2nd bestseller, and the Vase Fairy version B is the 3rd bestseller. By the way, according to MS's usual practice, the first batch of links will probably be about 100,000 copies. I predict that the Sure Sui version A will definitely sell out in seconds. As for the double cover version and the Vase Fairy version B, I suggest the Vase Fairy's fans hurry up and raise funds. The post soon reached the top of the trending section, and there were more than 1,000 replies. At this moment, it was 12 o'clock. Chapter 364. In the entertainment industry, the sales volume of a magazine was, in a sense, equivalent to the commercial value of a celebrity. The so-called instant sales meant that the sales volume was within a minute or a few minutes. The higher the sales volume, the greater the purchasing power of the fans and the greater the celebrity's ability to sell goods. Sure Sui's fans rubbed their hands in glee and clicked on the purchase button as soon as the electronic magazine was put on the shelves. The Sure Sui sister who posted the post bought Sure Sui edition A and refreshed the page to find that there were no more copies in stock. She clicked on the link to the physical magazine, only to find that there were not many copies in stock. She then clicked on Xianxia edition B and found that there were still more than 90,000 copies in stock. The girl in front of the screen laughed out loud and immediately took a screenshot and edited it into the main text of the post. Main text: Sure Sui edition A has been sold out. Looking at my purchase record, It should have been achieved in about 2 minutes. Also, thank you to the Vase Fairy for contributing to our joke of the year. Her commercial value is about 0. I suspect that her fans are fake fans. However, she was confused by the netizens' replies. Haha, as long as you're happy. Are you there? Is there something wrong with your eyesight? Another one has gone crazy. Take her away. She's hopeless. She was puzzled until she refreshed the forum and found a post titled, "Have a taste of the strongest fan club in history." Rewind time to a few minutes ago. On Weibo, Yan Nai and his father, Yan Jinhua, reposted the Weibo post of MS Magazine. Yan Jinhua, haha, little girl, have you grown up? I'm craving it. I'll buy a few copies as payment for my food expenses. Yan Nai, sister, I'll give you all my New Year's money to support you. Clench your fists. Then, the boys of C7 followed suit. Xianxia, sister, you're so beautiful. I love edition B. Xianxia, Sisters Magazine, I have to buy it. Soon, Xianxia and her husband also reposted the post. Xianxia, wow, our little cutie looks so good in this photo. I'm going to buy it for my collection. Shengguang, my wife is right. Then, it was Xiangyi's family group. Little Uncle Xiang Feng yelled in the family group chat and forwarded the post. Bideo President V. Little Xiangyi, I'll cover your cover today. In the training room, Xiangyi logged onto Weibo in the midst of his busy schedule. Logic Smog V. Is there a PS expert? Later, please help me Photoshop a single photo of my sister. The price is negotiable. Abroad, Xiangqi set an alarm and got up in the middle of the night. Hades V. My sister is the cutest in the world. I won't accept any rebuttal. At the Research Institute, Xiangli was in the middle of writing the latest research report when he suddenly stopped and said gently, "Sorry, give me a minute. I have to support my sister." Help? What was that? Under the confused gazes of a group of scientists from various fields, Xiangli calmly took out his phone and reposted the Weibo post. Xiangli V. Cheering for little sister. Come on, little sister. At the law firm, Xianxia sorted out the documents for the court session in the afternoon and looked at the two young girls opposite him. Miss Xiao, Miss Su, I have something important to do before lunch. Guardian and her good friend were nervous and at a loss. They thought he was going to do something big, but the next second, he clicked on the Weibo icon and reposted the post seriously. His expression was cold, and his words were concise. Tutu Brother V. Buy it. Guardian and Guardian. This is the big thing you were talking about? Chapter 365. These Weibo posts were screenshotted and posted. It was the post, "Let's see what it means to be the strongest support group in history." The netizens were stunned to see the famous directors of the entertainment industry, top celebrities, young hunks, respected veteran actors, gaming gurus, famous designers, medical doctors, and top lawyers supporting Xiangyi. What the F***CK? What kind of luxurious lineup is this? This is probably Mary Sue's favorite heroine in novels. I just saw that the official Weibo accounts of the Chinese Folk Music Association and the Traditional Chinese Medicine Association have also reposted it. There was no need to mention how envious the other fans were. This kind of support was really not something that everyone could get. Shui's sister, who had posted just now, gritted her teeth in front of the screen. She was a fan of Shui, but she was also an anti-fan of Xiangyi. She was extremely upset about the two of them being a couple, so she couldn't stand Xiangyi at all. She couldn't help but mock and ridicule under the post. So what if there are so many people supporting her? Every one of them was just talking. Why don't they buy it? Our Shui sold it in 2 minutes. What about her? Can she sell it out in 200 years? Smiley face. As soon as she posted it, she was rebuked. The data hasn't been tabulated yet. I clicked on it a minute ago, but I didn't manage to buy it. However, the inventory page is malfunctioning, and it keeps showing more than 90,000 copies. Ha, keep bragging. Can the Vase Fairy be that impressive? Shui's version A sold out in 2 minutes, but she can sell out her version B in 1 minute? Isn't she afraid that others will laugh at her? She snorted and replied sarcastically. Her? She can sell it in seconds? Then I'll go to heaven. As soon as she replied, a notification popped up on Weibo, showing that MS had posted a new post. She clicked on it and was instantly dumbfounded. Someone had indeed sold in seconds, but it wasn't Sure Sui. My Style V. Hashtag Sure Sui Xiang. A June cover, hashtag congratulations at Sure Sui's A edition of the e-magazine was completed in 2 minutes and 36 seconds. The achievement of selling 100,000 copies. Congratulations to at Xianxia V for selling 100,000 copies of the B edition e-magazine in 59 seconds. It set a new record in the history of My Style. At the same time, congratulations to the two of them for the achievement of selling 100,000 copies in 5 minutes and 1 second for the physical issue of Confined to the Morning Star. The entire circle was in an uproar. Female artist, 59 seconds, 100,000 copies. Good heavens, even if there was support, this number was still shocking. When Xiangyi's fans saw this Weibo post, they all felt proud. Sister E is so outstanding. Roaring at the top of his lungs, so low-key, our easy isn't that impressive, awesome. It felt so good. After being slandered for so long, he could finally hold his head high. That's how impressive our EE is. Bullshit. Someone even tagged Sure Sui's sister. Ha ha ha. Does your face hurt? You there? Is the keyboard ready? If not, I'll send you one. I heard that you're going to heaven. I prepared the sunflower seeds and a small stool. When are you going to perform? That person didn't reply for a long time. After a while, everyone realized that she had actually deleted her account. She can't afford to play, can she? Some were happy while others were worried. Untimely Weibo was a hot topic. Who still remembers that it's a double cover this time? Sob, 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 sob. Are we too lousy? The sales are actually at the bottom. No. Sisters. It's been so long, but Sure Sui still hasn't won Sister Yi's heart. He's useless. Oh no, I actually think that makes sense. Chapter 366. In the trending topics, the netizens vividly interpreted the hashtag when I'm ruthless. Even the couple I'm dating will be hateful hashtag. Hence, a topic quietly climbed to the bottom of the trending topics on Weibo. When Si Chuanbai saw the hashtag Shuringdi is useless hashtag, his expression was exactly the same as the old man on the subway. In the past, he had predicted that Sure Sui would be on the trending topics and had prepared the corresponding public relations. Recently, the trending topics were getting more and more confusing. Shuringdi is useless? What kind of public relations is this? If it was public relations, others would say, look at Sure Sui and his team, they're guilty. If it wasn't public relations, others would say, TSK, I can't tell that he's so weak at such a young age. The top manager sighed heavily as he looked at his phone. It's too difficult for me. Similarly, Xiangyi's manager, Nan, was in a difficult situation. He had been worried sick that he wouldn't be able to sell his obedient version B. Until he saw the Weibo post about the sales. 59 seconds? 100,000 copies? Did he see wrongly? Before Nan could react, his phone was bombarded with calls from various media outlets and business partners. To put it simply, Xiangyi was on fire. However, the problems that followed were also obvious. An artist didn't just need a manager, they needed a team. Now, although Xiangyi had become the boss of Tomato Entertainment in name, she didn't have a team. With so many things piling up, Nan felt powerless. It was too difficult. I don't deserve it. He even had a feeling of wanting to shrink back. Should I resign? Just as this thought flashed through his mind, his phone rang. When he saw the caller ID, he rubbed his eyes hard before answering the call. Mr. C, are you looking for me? Si Chuanbai's serious and deep voice came through the receiver. From today onwards, my team and I will be in charge of handling Miss Xiangyi's management business. Really? That's great. In that case, Xiangyi would have the most professional management team. However, his happiness only lasted for 3 seconds before Nan realized something. He drooped his head and asked dejectedly, So am I going to lose my job? Si Chuanbai, you're thinking too much. Nan sobbed, You don't have to comfort me. I understand. I'll pack my luggage now and go to Little Rabbit Farm to raise piglets. I heard that they use science to raise pigs and turn knowledge into reality. In any case, I went to university before. Woo-woo. I should be able to apply, right? See Chuanbai rub his eyebrows. Why was little rainbow? What do you mean by raising piglets? I think you want to eat piglets. Sorry, I didn't express myself clearly. My team, and I will assist you. Knowing that he would not face the crisis of unemployment, Annan was rejuvenated. He suddenly thought, then what about Shi Sui? Si Chuanbai said coldly, let him fend for himself. I am now part of Miss Xianxi's family. Ah? In the kitchen, Xianxia and Shi Sui were busy. Li Jianyu announced Shi Sui's sales volume first. Shi Sui bowed to the camera and said, thank you for your support, everyone. Was made comments. First bow. When it was Xianxi's turn, Xianxia stopped washing the vegetables and expressed her gratitude to her fans. More and more people joined in. Second bow. Coincidentally, when Xianxia turned around, she bumped into Shi Sui. He frowned and looked down at her. One person's idiocy is called idiocy, while a group's idiocy is called happiness. Husband and wife bow to each other. Ceremony complete. Chapter 367. Send him to the bridal chamber and turn off the lights. Wait a minute, isn't Shi Sui impotent? Why don't we crowdfund and send him some pills to nourish his body? I'm going to laugh myself to death in the comments section sooner or later. There was a sea of joy in the comments section, but the few popular starlets in the entertainment industry were extremely displeased. Some of the fashion and endorsement opportunities that had originally approached them had all gone to Xianxia. That was how realistic the entertainment industry was. When something was going down, the business world wouldn't even take a second look. When it was popular, the business world would willingly be a spare tire. The starlets would usually fight openly and covertly. But today, they were united against a common enemy and quickly formed a group. The Plastic Sisters flattered each other for a while, and then very tacitly joined forces to defame Xianxia. Soon, a lot of negative news about Xianxia appeared on the internet. What kind of sales legend is this? It's all fake. After removing the fake news, it's already good enough for someone to sell 1,000 magazines. Well, a certain Xiang actress has a bunch of rich brothers. Of course, she can buy as many magazines as she wants. Commercial value? Sorry, the Vase Fairy really doesn't have any. It's all fake prosperity. Would there really be an idiot who would believe that she has fans? She might be fine if one person scolded her, but if a group of people scolded her, there must be something wrong with her. Otherwise, why would they scold her instead of others? The companies behind the starlets all had a lot of marketing accounts, which undoubtedly came in handy at times like this. They were ridiculing Xianxia from all angles, as if the 100,000 copies sold by her brothers were all fake figures. Commercial value was an important standard in the business world to measure artists. Seeing so much negative public opinion on the internet, some brands couldn't help but back out. Looking for Xianxia might not be a good choice. She was popular, but she was a little too black-red. After all, no one wanted to find a spokesperson who would attract criticism. Besides, her figures were too exaggerated. In the entertainment industry, male artists had always been the ones who outsold female artists. Since when had female artists ever outsold male artists? At the critical moment, an overseas vlogger posted on Weibo, which attracted the attention of netizens. Nowadays, there are many overseas artists, internet celebrities, vloggers, and so on Weibo. Some of them managed their accounts well and had a considerable number of fans. It just so happened that the vlogger who posted on Weibo would usually share her outfits, skincare, and so on. She had more than 2 million fans. Luna V. Hey, I want to ask, can anyone help me buy this? My friends like her very much. There was a picture. It was a screenshot of My Style Xiang Edition B. The netizens? Is Xianxia? S. Do overseas vloggers? S. Someone raised a question in Luna's native language. She no. S fans post one. She to her videos this SRS TTTs, TSDS, TISTS. Not only is she the ideal type for men, but she is also the ideal type for women. As for, oh my god, someone bought it for me. I'm so happy. Chapter 368. The netizens were dumbfounded. Is this real? Usually, we're the ones who get people to buy overseas skincare products and cosmetics. Now, Foreigners are getting people to buy our female artists' magazine covers? At first, some people thought that it was just a publicity stunt. However, some overseas students posted screenshots of overseas magazines, which made people realize how terrifying Xianxi's popularity was overseas. I'm shocked. So the Vase Fairy is not only popular, but she's also really popular overseas? Ah, there are 200,000 links to each of the 3 editions. Sister Yi's edition B has been sold out. It's really sold out in seconds. I went to several well-known overseas video websites and found that the number of views on Xianxi's cooking videos is second only to the videos of our national treasure panda, acting cute. The popular actresses who had teamed up to slander Xianxi were also confused. How did this happen? Didn't Xianxi just star in a variety show? How did she become so popular overseas? Those brands who had backed out just now were dying of regret. They hurriedly tried to contact Xianxi again, only to find that she already had a new management team, gold medal manager Sichuanbai and his team. The brands were speechless. Isn't he Shiringdi's exclusive manager? Why is he in charge of Xianxi's management business? Sichuanbai was much colder than Annan. He quickly filtered through and rejected those that were not suitable for him. Those brands beat their chests and stomped their feet, hating themselves for being a step too late and missing out on such a huge business opportunity. The most vicious slap in the face came from a Weibo post that Shui liked. Bideo, President V. Woo, what lousy magazine is this? It's limited to 1 copy per account. I'm rich. Let me buy it. Do you hear me? Xiangfeng's incompetent and furious post attracted a lot of laughter from the netizens. After Shui liked the post, everyone suddenly understood the main point. Huh? There's a limited purchase? And it's limited to 1 copy. A limited purchase meant that no one could buy hundreds or thousands of copies. The rumor of Xianxi's brothers spending money to boost sales was dispelled. The netizens were in a daze, still in disbelief. Xianxi, a female artist, had single-handedly surpassed Shui's magazine sales. She had really recorded a variety show. If there were any good works in the future, he didn't dare to think about it. He really didn't dare to think about it. Untimely super topic. Shui, a man who is always on the front line to protect his wife. My first reaction is that I've eaten candy. My second reaction is that Shui likes her. Sob sob, me too. I feel like my daughter hasn't been enlightened yet. I'm looking forward to her growing up, but I don't want her to grow up at the same time. Her mother fans are so worried, the manner. When lunch was served, Jiang stared blankly at the sumptuous lunch. Did elder sister do all this? Amazing. Jiang praised generously. Jiang, call me auntie, said Zhongyi. Jiang shook her head and said, no, it's sister. The beautiful ones are all big sisters. Xianxi had always been very tolerant toward her cubs. She pushed a cup of freshly squeezed strawberry milk over, her eyes gentle and calm. Jiang took a sip and squinted her eyes blissfully. After a few seconds, she sighed like an adult and said, ah, when will I grow up? Madame Xiang asked. Jiang, what do you want to be when you grow up? Jiang exclaimed, I want to marry Sister Yi. Everyone at the table burst into laughter. Shui was the only one who raised his eyebrows. Children are such creatures. They're really annoying. Chapter 369. The netizens watching the live stream were appalled. It's time for the mukbang live stream. Reporting, the takeout has been ordered and the milk tea is ready. Get ready to eat. Over, ha ha ha. Shui's eyebrows are so soulful. He's not going to be jealous of children, is he? Zhong, he was shocked by the delicious food on the table. Did you make all these? Xianxi didn't take the credit. Shui, and I made them together. Shui said, I'm just an assistant. A look of surprise flashed past Zhongyi's eyes. As far as she knew, Shui was the type of person who would rather not eat than cook. Yet, she's willing to cook? Madame Xiang praised. Our dear Tutu's culinary skills are really getting better and better. Xiangyin humphed and said, that's all. Madame Xiang. Haha, if you didn't eat the most, I would have believed your nonsense. As for Xiao Naofu and little Shiji, they also had their own lunches. Little Shiji, who had only eaten dog food before, barked and buried its face into the bowl of food for the first time. Xiao Naofu, on the other hand, turned into a little kitten and ignored its own food to squeeze into little Shiji's bowl. Little Shiji looked at it in bewilderment. Woof! Xiao Naofu barked at it fiercely. Woof! I'm going to eat your food, you mutt. Little Shiji hesitated for a few seconds and quietly retreated. It even pushed its bowl towards Xiao Naofu, seemingly hinting for it to eat more. Xiao Naofu initially thought that little Shiji was trying to lure it away from its territory so that it could steal its luxurious seafood rice. To its surprise, little Shiji lay on the ground obediently and watched it eat innocently with watery black eyes. It seemed that it was planning to wait for Xiao Naofu to have its fill before starting. Xiao Naofu suddenly felt that the rice in its bowl was no longer fragrant. What are you looking at? Xiao Naofu was immature and was equivalent to a human child. It bullied little Shiji because it felt that little Shiji had stolen Xiangyi's love. If little Shiji was a bully, it would definitely fight little Shiji to the death. However, little Shiji wasn't. Xiao Naofu felt like it had punched cotton. It stared at little Shiji for a few seconds before reluctantly pushing the bowl back. It even picked up a prawn from its bowl and placed it in little Shiji's bowl. Meow. Oomph. This hoo only gave you a prawn because you're too thin and weak. In the next second, little Shiji pressed it onto the ground and began licking Xiao Naofu's head happily. Meow, meow, meow. Xiao Naofu. I hear mother. Don't come over. Stupid woman. Save me. Save me. As an internet celebrity cat, Xiao Naofu had its own cameraman and a separate live broadcast room. The netizens inside were all cute and doting, and the style was very harmonious. Xiao Naofu is so pretentious. Our Xiao Naofu has grown up. I'm glad. Little Shiji is so domineering. I'm done. Cat videos? So embarrassing. I'm too embarrassed to watch. Xiao Naofu struggled to break free from little Shiji's shackles and jumped into Xiangyi's arms, feeling extremely aggrieved. Meow. That annoying mutt licked my fur until it was wet. Xiangyi put down her chopsticks and coaxed it gently. When Xiangyin saw this scene, he frowned and said with a menacing expression, "Don't worry. Just eat. Why are you hugging it?" Xiao Naofu was so frightened that it shrank into Xiangyi's arms. Some netizens commented, I feel like old Mr. Xiang doesn't hate cats, but Xiangyi.